This anymore.
We are live on a Thursday edition, the Sports Bash, 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, live video streaming on the X platform, YouTube, at Mike Gill Show, live at Chickies and Pete's in Atlantic City. The Sports Bash, 97.3 ESPN. What's up, everybody? What a day. Rainy. It felt like the apocalypse was happening in our studio. Luckily, the rain stopped on my drive over here. A little flooded in the back channels of Atlantic City, but we made it here. We're here, the Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. Pete G is my on-site producer. Josh Henning is back in the Ocean Casino Resort Studios. Gentlemen, how are you? Pete?
I'm all right. A little wet getting here, but all good. All dry now.
Pete G, got any plans with the Nuggets coming up?
Oh, you mean going to the 4-0 Sixers game, maybe?
Are they at home this weekend?
Tomorrow, yeah.
Wow.
At Brooklyn on Sunday. No, we're not going to go to the game yet. I would like to go to that whenever they do the 0-1, whenever they start that up.
I think that's on next Saturday or Sunday.
Yeah.
I think that's next Saturday night, I want to say, is the first game where they do the 0-1, where they're going to rock the uniforms.
Hip hop's coming back.
Wow.
That might be the game.
All right. Who do they play? Charlotte, right? I think.
Well, I can't go see Charlotte again.
Maybe this Saturday was. I don't know who they play, but
tomorrow's Boston for the NBA Cup, right?
So they're starting the NBA Cup again already, like now?
Yep, tomorrow.
I don't understand this. Like, I don't like the NBA Cup to begin with, but if you're going to have it, like, I'm not anti-NBA Cup. I'll say that. Like, I'm not looking at the NBA Cup and saying I'm anti-NBA Cup, but you could do it so much better and make it so much more impactful to the season. Like, why do I care that the Sixers are playing the Celtics on a Friday night in November for an NBA Cup game? Like, I don't understand who in the league office thinks that anyone gives a bleep.
I still don't understand the concept of it either. Or why it was needed, I guess.
I guess they felt that a lot of these early season, regular season games were getting lost in the sauce around football. So they figured if they made up like a tournament similar to like how soccer does it, that a lot of the younger fans might get behind. Like, soccer has a tournament like every week, right? It's like you're in the Premier League, but you're also playing in the so-and-so cup and this cup and that cup.
Yeah, European soccer is like the most confusing thing in the world for American sports fans.
Right, so, but the difference is over there, those little things mean something if you win them. In America, it only matters if you win, like, the NBA championship.
Correct.
Winning the NBA Cup, it doesn't resonate here. So, what I think they should do with the NBA Cup, make it something. Make it matter.
Add stakes?
Well, I said in the month of, like, March and April, like the last month and a half of the season, make that the NBA Cup. So all your games in the month of March and April are all in the NBA Cup. And that the only teams that are involved in the NBA Cup are the teams that make it to the cutoff line. So in other words, you have to be in the top 10 of the playoff race. So the 7 teams plus 8, 9, and 10 in the play-in. All of those teams are now in this NBA Cup. And in the last month of the season, the only teams you play are in the NBA Cup, are in the playoff race. And all those games are jockeying for seeding.
I can get behind that.
So at the end of the year,
if it has an impact on the playoffs.
But that's my point. At the end of the year, if you're the 1 seed, you're not playing a team trying to tank, right? If you're the 2 seed, you're not playing a team that's 45 games out of the playoffs. Like, I don't want to see Cleveland have to get stuck playing Charlotte in April in a game that matters more for Cleveland, and Charlotte's trying to lose purposely. So create an NBA Cup where you're trying to get into the top 10 to advance to the NBA Cup, and then the month of March is all NBA Cup games, and then the month of April is like the NBA Cup playoffs, and then at the end of that, you go into the playoffs. So now you've played high-level basketball games for a whole month entering the playoffs. Like, you've played games that have like high intensity, high stakes, seeding expectations, and they carry you into the first round of the playoffs.
I actually agree with that because it's really hard to have stakes on Halloween, right? When the season just started 2 weeks ago. It's hard to bring that intensity.
Absolutely. Like, the Sixers are playing, they're 4-0. They're playing a game against the Celtics. Now, the Celtics played last night. Did they end up winning that game? They were up by like 10 with 5 minutes left, and then I turned it off and I forgot to go back.
You were watching that World Series, weren't you?
I was watching the World Series. We're going to talk about the World Series and stuff as well. So I think what the NBA could do in that last month of the season is really make these games a lot more meaneful in the month of March.
Celtics won last night, by the way.
Okay, so the Celtics beat the Cavs, who, by the way,
by 20.
The Celtics are not the same Celtic team. So somebody texted in, are you suggesting going up against March Madness? In a way, I'm suggesting going up against March Madness, but listen, I get March Madness runs really Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They really run 4 days. And then, yes, they have a couple nights, but you don't have to play against them on those nights. And quite frankly, if you're an NBA fan, most NBA fans are either NBA fans or not. Like, college basketball is much more down the Sweet 16, the Elite Eight, and the Final Four. Like, you're getting a different audience and stuff, and those times are kind of weird. So, yeah, you would be going up at the same time. but it's really only like those 4 days that are the big days. And a lot of those games, by the way, are on during the day. So you're not competing against March Madness for half the day on Thursday. So I think the NBA would be A-OK, especially – are you watching a Celtics-Sixers game that has implications to be the number 3 seed or the number 4 seed? Or are you watching Gonzaga play North Carolina A&M?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go pro.
Exactly. So the NBA doesn't have to acquiesce to to March. And listen, you're talking to someone who loves March Madness. So you don't have to convince me that March Madness means something. I haven't worked on March Madness's first 4 days in 20 years because I want to watch all these games intently. So I still don't think it would be any problem. But the NBA Cup starts, and I can tell you, this is the 3rd year of it, and I don't care at all. But I do think that they can do something to make people. It would make me care.
Is it hurting the league, or is it just useless?
It's useless. I don't think it's hurting the league. I think it's useless. Like, you see the new courts. That's like something that has become part of this now. And I think the NBA is saying, listen, it's useless. It's not hurting the league. But hopefully it could get this younger generation that are like soccer fans that understand these soccer cups and these spin-off tournaments. And they're hoping that 10, 15, 20 years down the line that they are now into the NBA Cup. So this is a long-term play. They certainly aren't marketing to 48-year-old Mike Gill in Atlantic City, that's for sure. But 48-year-old Mike Gill has some fun ideas, I think, that could work to help you out, NBA. No? Everybody like this idea or not really?
I mean, I would go for it.
I think it's certainly a better idea than the garbage they're doing now.
It just doesn't mean anything. It just nobody cares. And you're doing a tournament just to do a tournament to say
Mike,
you're admitting, by the way, by doing the tournament that you need to do something.
Right.
But you're doing it at the wrong time and for no reason. There was no purpose behind this.
Because there's 2 problems with the NBA here. Number one, the NBA thinks that creating something early in the season is going to help them, when the reality is they should start the season later. The season in the NBA should go from December to July.
Don't happen, though. All of the people who always say shorten the season, all that stuff, that's just not happening.
I'm not saying shorten the season. I'm saying move it.
Well, you still need the winter. I mean, you would have nothing on from Halloween until December. The whole month of November would be nothing.
I think what they could do better. I think what they could do better is in the month of October, November, December, the NBA would play on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Friday nights, and you would play twice a week. You either play Tuesday, Friday, or Wednesday, Friday. No back-to-backs. So you're playing Tuesday, Friday, Wednesday, Friday. Every single week. So you are locked into those days. They would be the NBA days. They would own them. Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. You don't play Saturday. You don't play Sunday. You don't play Monday. And you don't play Thursday.
Well, now you're making too much sense.
You stay away from football for the month of October, November, and December. So when people don't have football to watch, they say, I really want to get into these games. I know my team is playing twice a week on Tuesdays and Fridays or Wednesdays and Fridays.
They are taking baby steps, though, because that Tuesday night coast-to-coast 8 o'clock game for NBC, that is, 8 or is it ESPN?
No, what's it, NBC?
NBC and Peacock, yeah, that's it.
NBC,
8 o'clock for the East Coast game, 11 p.m. West Coast
game. So the games on the East Coast,
the
games on the East Coast are on NBC here.
Right.
The game here on the West Coast is only on Peacock.
Right.
And then it reverses. At 11 o'clock on the West Coast, they get the game on NBC broadcast television, and we only get the game on Peacock. At this point, I would say, who the hell cares? Just put it on both. Now, NBC Sports Network is going to be resurrecting here soon, and I would say, well, why not just put the second game on NBC Sports Network? But I digress there. But I would say is in October, November, December, those 3 months. And then in January, when the playoffs come around, now you slowly expand to now we're going to play Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we stay off of Saturday and Sunday. And you might say, well, the weekends are the biggest nights for okay. Now, once we get into February, once the NFL goes away, now you really load up on the weekends. You could play the whole schedule the rest of the way from February all the way to the end of the way. And then you have that NBA Cup in the month of March that you can really, and then bang, you can really make the schedule a lot more friendly, a lot more avoiding the NFL. You can make people yearn. Like one of the reasons why the NFL is so big is because it's only one day a week. Well,
Exactly.
It used to be one day a week. Now it's a couple days a week, but it's still Sunday.
But your
so
team,
if the NFL was
your
playing,
team only plays once a week.
right, and if the NBA, you knew your team was only playing twice a week, and they're not against football, you are now more inclined to watch both of those games.
Exactly.
Because you have nothing else in the way of those games. Saturday coming up, Sunday, for instance, this Sunday, the Flyers and the Sixers both play. Now, the Eagles don't play this Sunday, but still, most people are going to go NFL for the one day that it's on, and the Flyers and Sixers games get lost in the sauce.
Right.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just...
You're making too much sense. That's your problem over there.
609-403-0973, 609-403-0973.
And again, a lot of it is putting these games on the streaming devices, right? Making sure those people are happy.
Tonight is, once the football season ends, the NBA will be going to Amazon Prime on Thursday nights.
Right.
But right now it's on Friday nights, I think, as well.
Yeah. Sixers are on Prime tomorrow night.
So is that game on locally or just Prime?
Let me
I
double
think
check. I thought it was
just
locally, too. Let me check it.
I think it's just Prime, pretty sure.
If it's only Prime, that's a poor job at the NBA.
Well, it's not a poor job by the NBA. I get it. I don't love the fact that you can't watch the game on television because you have to go back and forth, but the NBA is not worried about what Josh Henning in Belle Plaine cares. They want to make money, right? I mean, they want to make money.
No league cares about Josh at all. I mean, let's be realistic.
Exactly. So that's why the game's on Amazon Prime. They gave them billions of dollars. You think the NBA is going to say, well, guys like Josh Henning think it's a bad job that we took $1 billion to put this game on our platform. They want people to sign up for Amazon Prime. I can't argue with them on that. Do I like it? Not necessarily. I did watch the Amazon Prime games the other night. I happen to like basketball. I'll watch college basketball. Heck, I'll watch high school basketball. I like basketball.
And Prime is getting in the live sports business. They have the baseball games. They have the football, obviously.
They got
have
NASCAR,
the basketball. Right? They have NASCAR. They're in the business now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm reading online that the game will be simulcast in the local market.
Okay, so you get the game here, which is good.
I'm just verifying what channel it's going to be on.
Probably NBC Philadelphia, right? I mean, Friday night you'll probably get the NBC Philadelphia.
It's going to be so it won't be Kate Scott and Allah. It will be the Prime guys, correct?
Oh, you think the Prime broadcast is going to be on NBC Philadelphia?
I'm pretty sure that Kate and Allah are not broadcasting until Sunday. I heard them say that on the game.
That's interesting.
If the simulcast thing is true.
Right. Now, during the football season, it goes to, whatever channel, like the Eagles game when they were on Amazon Prime. What were they on, 6 ABC?
Yeah.
Or were they on Fox?
Fox.
They're on Fox.
Sorry.
All right. So, I don't know how they'll pick who gets the game. Maybe it's NBC 10. Could it be on NBC 10?
I'm reading right now.
Because, when the Phillies played their Prime games, that was it. That was the only place to get the Prime game.
Well, because those are exclusive games.
So
I'm a little surprised that the basketball is not exclusive.
It looks like it's going to be simulcast only in the local markets on the local, RSN. So, for Philadelphia, it would be NBC Sports Philadelphia. For Boston, it would be NBC Sports Boston.
All right.
That's at least what it says online. But, that could always be wrong.
All right, 609-403-0973. I had no intention of talking about the NBA Cup to start this show, by the way. But speaking of some quick Sixers news, the Sixers have exercised the option on Jared McCain, so they have picked that option up. He has not played yet this year, although I am hearing good things about McCain. He did practice today. He's not going to play tomorrow night. Everybody practiced today. Everybody practiced today except for... Somebody missed? Except for Barlow. Barlow did not practice, and he will not play. He's going to miss at least 2. I said, I didn't see what happened to him. I said, what kind of cut did he get on his elbow that he can't play?
Yeah, elbow laceration, they called it.
I saw Saturday night when I went to the game, and they were like, he's out with an elbow laceration. He's done for the game. I'm thinking to myself, what the heck kind of cut did he get that he cannot play? He must have really cut his elbow open there. That being said, the Sixers play tomorrow night. And you can listen to that game on 97.3 ESPN. World Series last night. So the Blue Jays are up 3-2. They have a chance to close this thing out. What have we learned, and what are some of our takeaways about the Phillies watching this World Series? Anybody, like, just off the top of your head, like, I'm watching this World Series, which has been great.
Yeah.
What do you take away from what we've seen between these two teams? Now, obviously, the Dodgers beat you, and now the Blue Jays are beating the Dodgers. What is a takeaway or two that you would say, after watching this World Series, I now think this?
The one thing that sticks out to me is the kind of World Series that Vlad Guerrero's having. And we didn't get that performance from any of our Phillies in the lineup.
It's a good one.
I mean, that's the one thing that sticks out to me. Another homer last night for
The stars for
and Springer too. Springer's having a great well, now he's hurt.
No, he's hurt, yeah.
But he had a great
But
postseason.
no, you're right. The stars for Ohtani has had a great series, even though they're losing. But yes, for Toronto, the stars have shown up for them in their wins. But is there anything else, Josh? Is there any takeaway you have from the World Series and say, now that I'm watching this, I think the Phillies have to focus on doing X, Y, Z, maybe nothing?
Yeah, how about we stop holding the players in the minor leagues for 10 million years to rot and actually call them up when we actually could use them, because the Blue Jays are basically at a chance to win the World Series because they basically looked at a bunch of young guys and said, you know what, we can use you. Why don't you come up and see what happens?
I've been saying this for years, but Yusevich last night coming in, striking out more batters in a World Series game for a kid,
any rookie ever.
Than a kid at 22 years old, than any rookie ever.
That could have been Andrew Painter, but no, we're still marinating him in the oven in the minor leagues.
Only had 3 regular season starts.
Yeah,
He's had
3.
5 in the postseason.
You could have called on September 1st, Andrew Painter, Justin Crawford, and just said, go out there and play. We'll see what happens. And you could have used him in the postseason. And instead, we had to see Dalton, Walton? Darren
Donovan
Walton?
Walton.
You were going to say Dalton Varsho?
Yeah, same difference. The point is that, like, the Phillies, every other team in baseball just calls up their young players, and the Phillies are holding them down there like they got a turkey in the oven for 2 days.
I've been saying this for years, and I said it, last week when I said, listen, Yusevich is pitching Game 1 of the World Series, and the Phillies are sitting on a better pitching prospect who they didn't even give an opportunity. Look at some of these guys that are getting chances to play in this playoff series for the Blue Jays. You never heard of half these guys.
No.
Most people watching this World Series have not seen a Blue Jay game all year and never heard of half of these guys, yet here they are. They're about to win the World Series, and I agree in the fact that Yusevich pitched 3 games all year. He was pitching in Dunedin at the start of the season. You know what Dunedin is? It's the lowest form of single-A ball that you can get. I mean, he's literally pitching in Dunedin. There's a VFW across the street that sells meatball sandwiches for $3 after the game, and a brewery up the street that he probably was hanging out at. And now he's pitching in the World Series. The Phillies, on the other hand, coddle these guys so much, gave them no opportunity. And the fact that their outfield was as abysmal as it was all season, and your best offensive prospect was an outfielder, and you never said, hey, you know what? A couple years ago, we went to Rojas when we had nobody else to turn to, and that kid came up and he actually performed. Because if you remember when Johan Rojas came up in 2022, he had a .340 on-base percentage. He hit over 300. So he handled it. Why not see if Justin Crawford could have come up here and handled it and been a spark plug for this team? The Blue Jays turned to a pitcher who was pitching in single A. They called him up in September, gave him a couple starts, and said, you know what? This guy's stuff is good enough. We're keeping him. He pitched Game 1 of the World Series, and they won that game. And then he pitched last night and had more strikeouts than any other rookie in the history of the game. They need to change their focus on how they handle these young players, the Philadelphia Phillies. But the other part of this is they have to get somebody to protect their stars. That's a big factor in this, too. You know, it's one thing, like, if you are Bryce Harper and you hear all the stuff that people are saying, you didn't have an elite year, is it still there? Hey, guess what? Get someone that can hit 30 home runs behind him, and maybe, voila, he might take off too. Did you see what happened when Kyle Schwarber had Bryce Harper hitting behind him? He magically hit 56 home runs. Hello?
Funny how that works.
It's crazy. So then people are like, well, then hit Harper second and move Schwarber to third. Well, then you want Schwarber to go from 56 to 36 home runs? Like, you have to have some sort of protection. And you look at Vlad Guerrero, and, I wouldn't say they've got Hank Aaron hitting behind him, but they certainly have some pieces, and they're missing a couple guys.
Well, he's certainly better than who the Phillies' options are.
It's certainly better than what the Phillies' options are. That's the moral of the story. Is you got Bo Bichette hitting fourth one night, Alejandro Kirk's back there. Those guys can hit the ball over the fence. And the Phillies are hitting Alec Boehm in the four-hole. Nick Castellanos. These
JT
guys
Realmuto.
stink. JT Realmuto, there's some stories on him coming out, too, including about how much interest he might have on the free agent market. Speaking of, the trade deadline for the NFL is coming up.
Those are good meatball sandwiches down there, by the way.
The one in Dunedin?
Yeah.
That Dunedin Brewery is a great spot.
Yeah. Maybe a Savage was there.
Could have been. We were there. We saw Phillies Blue Jays down there in Dunedin this year. All right, Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. We're live at Chickies and Pete's here in Atlantic City. Go where the players go. It's the official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles. And, of course, we're here every single Thursday. Go where the players go. Watch the Eagles at the official sports bar of the Eagles. Chickies and Pete's events are always better with Chickies and Pete's. Have your next party catered or have the Crab Fries Express food truck at your event at Chickies and Pete's. That's right here in Atlantic City. That's where we are tonight, Thursday Night Football. And the Flyers are back tonight. We're talking about all of it. But when we come back, what about this trade possibility? I think I'm in. That's next. This is the Sports Bash. All right, welcome back. Sports Pass Live, 97.3 ESPN. You got Flyers tonight. You can listen to the game on 97.3 ESPN. The football game, not a good one. Ravens and Dolphins. That'll be on Rock 104.1. You can listen to that over there. Text board is open and has a lot of text coming in on it right now. 609-403-0973 if you want to chime in. Takeaways from the World Series as it relates to the Phillies. What are something the Blue Jays and the Dodgers are doing that the Phillies need to try to emulate or do or something? Let's get into that and more. But is a big move from Howie Roseman coming? Charles Robinson, where's he with? Yahoo now?
Yahoo Sports.
All right, so Josh, set this up for me because you got the bite. I did not hear this. I don't know where it was, and I don't know anything about it.
So this morning, Charles Robinson, who's covered the NFL for years, he's with Yahoo Sports at this point, he was a guest on 102.5 The Game in Nashville. So keep in mind that this is not on a Philly station or a Cleveland station. And in the course of a conversation, the question was asked to him, hey, have you heard any juicy trade rumors? And then he just decided to drop this nuke on everybody's head.
Rumor going around, and I have not heard it out of the Eagles, but I've heard it from a couple of other, high-ranking people in other teams that are clearly on the phones that, Howie Roseman and the Eagles are super hot after Myles Garrett, and how he'd give up 3 first-round picks for him.
So he's saying, I'm hearing
from
that,
other NFL executives.
Right, that other people are saying that the Eagles, Howie Roseman, would call and make a trade and offer 3 first-round picks for Myles Garrett. I'd do that in a heartbeat.
Would the Browns do that deal?
They'd be dumb not to. Anything that involves Myles Garrett and the Browns and a trade, if they aren't entrepreneuring the phones and trying to do something, they are out of it. They're done. They're not making the playoffs. They're not winning a Super Bowl with Myles Garrett. I get it. You like the guy. Maybe he's a great community guy. Do the guy a favor. Now, listen, I got no problem saying that this guy shouldn't have signed that contract. That was his fault. He said he wanted to get traded. Then they gave him $40 million. He made himself look pretty bad. When $40 million came, the Browns weren't all that bad anymore. Now, were they? So that part of it, I have no problem with him rotting there. You take money like that, you reap what you sow. I have no problem with people's greed bringing them down. You want to be a greedy SOB and somebody makes you rot in Cleveland? That's on you, dude. You could take $25 million and go play in a place that wins like Philadelphia, but you wanted $40 million because $25 million wasn't enough. So guess what? If Myles Garrett sits and rots in Cleveland and never wins a freaking thing, I got no problem with that.
Pete, what do you think?
Yeah, short answer, yes. Long answer, yes. Is it an overpay? 3 first-rounders?
No.
Maybe.
The guy had 4 sacks in a game last week.
5.
5 sacks, excuse me. He's at 15 to 20 sack a year guy. He is the best, most disruptive defensive player in the league right now, and he's on the worst team you could ever imagine. He's in the worst organization outside of the Jets. No offense, Cole and LBI. The Cleveland Browns are the most poorly run organization there is. To have this guy in the league playing on that team stinks for the league. 3 first-round picks from the Eagles, their defense right now is full of first-round picks.
Well,
how many more of these guys are they going to hit on? At some point, you got to say, you know what? I'm too hot hitting on these guys. I'm going to start passing to somebody else. You got Nolan Smith, a first-round pick. You got Jordan Davis, a first-round pick. You've got Jalen Carter, a first-round pick. You've got Nakobe Dean, who was a middle-round pick. You've got Jahad Campbell, a first-round pick. You've got Quinyon Mitchell, a first-round pick. You've got Cooper DeJean, a second-round pick. Andrew Makuba, a second-round pick. Where else are you drafting young players that you need 3 first-round picks on that defense? Now, on the offensive side of the ball, could you make an argument that you need a new right tackle at some point? Okay, do I need to draft a right tackle in the first round? Probably not. I don't need a new center. I don't need a new left guard. I don't need a new left tackle. I don't need a new right tackle. Right guard. My offensive line is all pretty young. Where am I drafting somebody in the first round that I need 3 of them?
I guess corner. Did you mention corner?
Yeah, Quinyon Mitchell.
You
I
drafted
got
him in the
Cooper
fourth
DeJean.
Other side.
I got Cooper DeJean. I got Quinyon Mitchell. I just made a trade yesterday for another young player. I mean, could I use a corner? You're telling me if I had Myles Garrett, like him pressuring the quarterback, guess what? I get by with a Dory Jackson just fine.
Well, so the second part of this we got to get to is Robinson actually explains that he doesn't think 3 first-round picks from the Eagles is actually a great value. I want to get your reaction to this take, Mike.
If it's coming from the Eagles, those are 3 late firsts, so it's like even arguable. When you get through the draft process, how many first-round grades do you really have? Maybe you have between 14 and 18 in a typical year, and that means that if you're drafting in the late 20s, early 30s, you're not even getting a player that's really considered on your board. Unless you're lucky, you're not getting a player that maybe you have a first-round grade on.
No argument there. I'm always a proponent. If you're a good team, you can afford to give away draft picks because your picks are coming at the end of the draft. The Eagles, I don't know where the 3 picks, I can't remember where they're all coming from and who gave them to you. But if you give up 3 picks and they're 17, 22, and 30, 30, okay, I can be okay with giving up that type of value. And I think he's right. The Eagles giving away 3 picks, they're ripping the Browns off.
By the way, the Eagles own their first-round pick next year. They only have, looks like 1 next year.
Okay, so they would be giving up picks in multiple drafts.
26, 27, 28.
I know they have a lot of draft picks coming up.
They have a lot of mid to late round picks.
They have a lot of thirds. I do know they have like 3 or 4 third-round picks.
So in 2017, they also only have 1 first-round pick. So it would be 26, 27, 28 first-round picks.
So you're not drafting the first round until 2029, unless you make a trade, obviously.
Is Myles Garrett worth it then?
What kind of question is that?
I think so. I mean, this is the window, right? This is a good 4-year window for this
Myles
team.
Garrett worth it was just a question?
Well, it should be asked because he is getting older. We've had that conversation about, are you willing to invest in older players, right? The Eagles don't have a history of that. It's going to be a huge cap number. You still have to re-sign Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and all these other guys.
He's signed already, by the way, so that's one thing.
But
listen,
this window, this is a 4-year window for me.
Yeah, this is, you got to take your shot right now. This is a couple of years. Somebody actually brought this up the other day, so I have no problem. I said a couple of years ago I would have traded Maxey for Dame Lillard. Now, 3 years later, that doesn't look to be a very good move. Obviously, Dame is hurt, and Maxey's having a great start to the season. But the last 3 seasons, my point was, at the time, the Sixers felt that they were in a championship window right then. Maxey wasn't helping them win a championship 3 years ago. Maxey wasn't helping them win a championship 2 years ago. Maxey's now more equipped to help win a championship now than Dame Lillard is. I was looking at the immediacy of that move. Like, hey, I got Joel Embiid in his prime years. I got to try to win a championship while he's 28, 29, because once he gets to 30, 31, 32, I don't know what Joel Embiid I'm getting.
That's the Phillies argument, right? Keeping Andrew Painter in the system, Crawford, Miller.
Because they got to restock.
They
But
held on to these guys.
my point back then was I would have said, right now, if I'm trying to win a championship in 2022, Dame Lillard gives me a better chance than Tyrese Maxey does. Now, 3 years later, you want to say, hey, Mike Gill, what do you think about that now? Well, of course I wouldn't make that trade now. But back then, if I was trying to win a championship in that particular season, I probably had a better chance with Dame Lillard than I did Tyrese Maxey. Now, Maxey has turned into, which I am surprised, by the way. I was wrong about this. Is Maxey going to be a guy that can score 30 points a game like Dame Lillard could? He is showing us right now that, yes, he can. Now, can he do that over an 82-game season? We will find out. But that being said, same point with Garrett. The Eagles' window to win a championship is this year. They won one last year. They're trying to win another one right now. Go get the best player I can if he's available. He is 29 years old, so he probably has another 2 this season, next year, and maybe one more
So
where
really,
he can play at a level where you're talking about a disruptive player that's worth it.
so just to give information on his cap number. So his contract is currently constructed. He is locked in financially for the next 5 years. Here's the ascending cap number. 22 this year, 23 next year, 27 in 2027, 30 in 2028, and then the whopper, because they deferred the money down the road, to kick the can down the road, $62 million in 2029.
Well, he's not seeing that.
62
He's
million.
not seeing that money. There's
Well,
no,
he is because there's part of
it's
the
not
money is
guaranteed.
guaranteed.
I would be shocked if he sees $60 million in 2020 whatever.
He is guaranteed a total of $89 million as a total potential value up to 160.
My answer to that would be I don't care. You know why? I have Howie Roseman. That's his job to figure it out. If he makes that trade, if he offers that trade, it's because he thinks that he can figure out how to make the money work. So monetarily, I'm not a cap wizard. This isn't me saying, well, wait a second. If Howie Roseman makes that trade, it's because he thinks he can manage that. You don't make that trade without a plan. You make that trade knowing, hey, I'm going to get this guy. That's $62 million. Mr. Lurie, don't worry about it. I'll figure out how to get that off our books. We'll kick the can down the road. We'll restructure. We'll do something. But this is about an immediacy move. This isn't like you make this trade thinking about 4 years down the road, because 4 years down the road, you don't know what this team looks like. You have a lot of young pieces on this team right now, and you have young pieces that are able to win. If you deem that you need a pass rusher of that magnitude and the payoff is I won't have a first-round pick for 3 years, you say, oh, well, I won the Super Bowl in one of those years, so I'm not going to get the 32nd pick of the first round. Oh, boo-hoo. Because you know why? My 32nd pick of the first round turned out to be Myles Garrett. Same thing the next season and the season after that. For those 3 years, your first-round pick turned out to be Myles Garrett. And if that's the case, you're pretty damn good.
The final part from Charles Robinson is he was asked, would the Browns make this deal? Here's Yahoo Sports' Charles Robinson earlier today.
So that's kind of like this rumor that's out there that, hey, like Howie would really love a shot at him. But again, I was told by the Browns they're not interested in moving him. I think the Browns would be okay if somebody wants to make a call on like the running back depth, you know, one of these veterans that they have in terms of running back depth, and then also defensive end depth, like edge depth, but not Miles.
Yeah, because the Browns are poorly run. That's why.
Yes.
Whatever the Browns do, you do the opposite. Andrew Berry, by the way, who worked in Philadelphia, if there's one person who can make that call and talk him into his senses, it would be Howie Roseman. Andrew, you worked for me, dude. You got to make this deal. Otherwise, you're going to get skewered out there. They're going to kill you out there. I mean, you can't keep making dumb decisions. I'm giving you a lifeline right here. Make this deal, buddy. I'm trying to help you. How many people out there agree? 609-403-0973. Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. Halloween tomorrow. What are you wearing for Halloween? Anything, Pete?
Nah. My kid, though, Sydney, she's going to be Wednesday Addams from the Addams family.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, she's got black hair, black nails, the whole thing. So.
All right, come back. Chuck Adell, 7-1 on his picks. Let's see if he can get to 8-1. What's his next pick? Find out next on the Sports Bash.
Marks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers, and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this.
.3 ESPN. Go where the players go. Chickies and Pete's. That's where we are today, Atlantic City, getting ready for Thursday night football. Got the Flyers tonight on 97.3 ESPN. Thursday night football will be on Rock 104.1. Hey, let's get back into the winning ways. 7-1 now. Chuck Adell is back. ChuckWins.com. 800-808-3481. He was riding the hot hand with the Dallas Cowboys and their disastrous defense. He kept taking those overs, Chuck, and that was a winner again last week. That gets you to 7-1 on the plays right here on the Sports Bash.
Yes, sir. Let's keep it rolling. And we're going to do a deal here for all your listeners, for all the NFL, and that starts tonight. A big play tonight in the NFL. $29.99 for the entire week. And again, as you mentioned, ChuckWins.com, ChuckWins.com, or simply call 1-800-808-3481. That will get you starting tonight the entire week of the NFL plays. So basically, when you take your kids out from McDonald's, you spend about the same amount of money. So make it worth your while. ChuckWins.com, and we'll take care of you all week.
Yeah, just $29.95. That's a Happy Meal these days, right? That's usually a $450 value for all the listeners out there. ChuckWins.com. Go peruse the website, check it out. Or if you're somebody who likes to hear an actual voice, 800-808-3481. All right, you went Dallas overs the last couple weeks, if I remember correctly. That got you to 7-1. Where are we going this weekend to get you to 8-1?
Yeah, that's correct. And we did have that Dallas-Denver over. And I'm going to kind of use that game last week to take advantage of something that I feel is a little bit inflated, because this week I am looking at the under in the Houston-Denver game. So we're going to go under Denver. And, the Denver offense, you take out that Dallas game, you, me, and your buddies could probably score some points against that Dallas defense. Plus now, on top of it, as bad as they were, the Dallas secondary is banged up. So the 44 points that Denver hung on Dallas kind of made made the stats a little bit over the top here. And then if you remember the week before, Denver was being shut out going into the fourth quarter of that crazy Giants game, and they put up 33 in that game. So take those two games out. They're averaging about 21 points a game. Houston offense has struggled as well. Besides the Baltimore game, when they played Baltimore, they were missed that one game. They were missing about half their defense. Cooper Rush threw 3 interceptions in that game. That was his last game. Take that game out, just the one game out, and Houston's only averaging 18 points a game. So, there's a couple things that you dig deeper into it. And again, I just want to let everybody know about the big play tonight. All your listeners, $29.99 the entire week of the NFL starting tonight. All you have to do, go to ChuckWins.com, ChuckWins.com, or simply call 1-800-808-3481. Getting back to the game, Houston comes into this game on offense banged up. Schultz is questionable. He has not practiced all week. Collins, their top wide receivers, had a concussion. He's questionable. Barrios questionable. That's a big part of their offense. On top of that, those were the guys who were in the offense when they were averaging 18 points a game. The real success for both these teams are on the defensive side of the ball. Denver now is up to 36 sacks. That's getting right up there with the 1985 Bears defense. And so far, Denver only allowing 18.9 points a game, 281 yards a game. Houston defense, believe it or not, it's even better. Not the sacks, but as far as the total defense, they're only allowing 14.7 points a game, 266.8 yards a game. Only one team all year has scored 20 points more than 20 points on this Houston defense. So I think Denver's going to have a lot of trouble moving the ball on them. Both defenses are good against the run, which we know that's what these teams like to kind of use the run to open up the pass. Houston's averaging 60 plays a game. Denver's averaging 63 plays a game. So they both play slow. They both huddle up. They both take their time. And, Surtain is out for Denver, but, he's a big loss, obviously, in the defense. They do have plenty of depth on that team. And I do like this game to go under the total. I think it's going to be a knockout, grinded kind of game.
There you go, a underplay for Denver, Houston. That Houston defense very good as well, as Chuck laid out there. ChuckWins.com, 800-808-3481. ChuckWins.com, 7-1 on this show. Looking to go 8-1. I like that underplay with you, Chuck. Appreciate it as always, man.
Thanks. Have a great week.
All right, Chuck Adell, everybody, back with another play. And those plays have worked out for everybody who's playing along. I hope you continue to. They are 7-1, and the Denver and the Houston under could get him to 8-1 right here on the Sports Bash. We're live at Chickies and Pete's in Atlantic City. But first, all right, that sounder right there. You know what it is. It's our 99 bottles sounder. And that means I need caller number 7 right now. 609-573-3776. 609-573-3776. Caller number 7 right now. You are entered for this year's 99 bottles party. It's an extravaganza at Maynard's in Margate. You must be present to win a pair of tickets. And tickets include Eagles, Bears, Club Box seats, Black Friday, Lincoln Financial Field, Flyers tickets, Sixers tickets, concert tickets. The biggest tickets in the area are all at 99 bottles. And caller 7, you'll be there right now at 609-573-3776. Caller number 7, good luck.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
Okay, all signed up. Easy. Now let's run payroll. What the? Hey girl, I'm you with more gusto. Nice. Who's that? New social media manager. Hired and onboarded with gusto. And spoiler, we're kind of famous now. Wait, we're famous? Oh, well, I'm famous. Payroll, benefits, and HR. Designed and built for small businesses. Choose a future with gusto.
Storybook land is filled with fun, wonder and adventure for everyone. Childhood memories are a part of our plan. Create your own story at Storybook Land. Your favorite
All right, hour two live at Chickies and Pete's. Go where the players go right here at Chickies and Pete's. That's right. Watch all Flyers and Sixers action and get the best in-game experience at the #1 sports bar in North America. Chickies and Pete's, that's where we are right now. Flyers will be on the TV tonight. Thursday night football will be on the TV tonight. College football on the TV tonight. And, of course, the Sports Bash live on 97.3 ESPN, the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, and live video streaming on the X platform, YouTube, at Mike Gill Show. If you're watching on the YouTube, what's up, everybody? This hour is brought to you by Broadlee's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, your trusted source for heating, plumbing service, and installation for generations. 609-390-3907 online, broadlees.net. Jeff Nadeau's got his college plays coming up in about a half an hour from now. You just heard Chuck. He took the who's Denver playing? Houston, under. He just told me, and I completely forgot. Denver, Houston, under is the play. 7-1 on his picks there, so good stuff there. Also, the unsportsmanlike moment of the day. I do want to get into last night, the two young guys, the young guns, if you will, were on Inside the NBA with Charles Barkley and the crew over on ESPN last night, and this was VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey. Now, one of the highlights of the conversation is Maxey is in his apartment and Edgecombe is in his apartment, and you have Barkley kind of busting busted Maxie Stones that he's making all the money and he won't buy Edgecombe any art for his wall back there. That was a pretty fun moment in there. But you can see these two guys have a pretty good relationship already. One of the things, we're 4 games in, and one of the things that we're finding out about VJ Edgecombe, as we had Keith Pompey on yesterday's show, is that this guy's fearless. You know, we played that clip on Monday from Austin Rivers, who said he's delusionally confident. And Keith kind of concurred, like that's a really good way to describe him, as like delusionally confident. The Sixers have lacked a delusionally confident player for the entire, 12 years post Michael Carter-Williams getting drafted and Nerlens Noel? Think about that. Which of these Sixer draft choices, maybe Maxey, has had a delusional confidence level about him where they believe they belong and it's their belief in themselves that changes the dynamic of the way that the organization thinks? You know, listen, Embiid has been a tremendous player. He has been an MVP. He has had unbelievable games and moments and things that you will remember when he is gone. You will look back on and say, I can't believe I saw a 7'2" man do some of the things that he did.
Score 70 points in a game.
Just unbelievable. But one thing that Embiid certainly has lacked, and I think it's fair, is to say he kind of has lacked that killer instinct. He has kind of lacked that I am going to win this game no matter what the heck it takes. That is something that, unfortunately, Joel has not had instilled in him. And for whatever reasons, injury, sickness, whatever it might have been, Joel is going to be more of a tale of what could have been than what is. The what is parts of his existence are awesome. But the what could have been parts of his existence, I think, ring louder. Could VJ Edgecombe and his delusional confidence be the difference that finally helps this organization get past all of the mental breakdowns that they have had in big moments? Ben Simmons coming up hugely small in a Game 7. James Harden coming up massively small when it mattered the most. The Markelle Fultz, just absolute disaster of the couple of years that he was in Philadelphia. Jahlil Okafor, flaming out. Michael Carter-Williams wins Rookie of the Year. They end up trading him, and he flamed out of the league. Dario Saric was fun for a while. They have just not been able to find, and I think, and I want to include Jared McCain in this as well, because I think Jared McCain's another guy who has the it factor in him. I think Jared McCain is a guy who has that mental toughness that when push comes to shove, he's not backing down. Like, he's a player, the dude can hoop, and he believes in himself. He believes that my team has a better chance to win if I have the ball in my hands. So let's take a listen to some of the things that these guys said last night on Inside the NBA. Let's start with VJ Edgecombe last night saying, you know, this team is a team that right now at 4-0, everybody can get excited at 4-0. I do want to stress that in Michael Carter-Williams' rookie year, the first year of the process, they started 3-0. And that was one of the worst teams of the process years. So they were terrible. So a 4-0 start doesn't really mean all that much. But I think what does mean something is how they're winning, why they're winning, the way they're winning. And VJ Edgecombe says they have a team that has bought into that.
I just think we got a squad, and we bought in. Like, that's the main thing. We all bought in. And we believe we can win every game if you ask us.
So they bought in. They've bought in to what Nick Nurse is selling. That is a big key in today's world. You know, the relationship, and Charles Barkley talked about this last night. He said, you know, a coach used to yell at you and he was coaching you. Now, you know, he's hating on you. He's like, no, he's just coaching your ass. That's what it is. You're a professional athlete. You want to get better. Having somebody pushing you isn't the worst thing in the world. But VJ's saying, look, we're bought in to what Nick Nurse is doing. And as Tyrese Maxey told the inside the NBA guys, it's a lot of their guards that has them believing.
We got multiple guards that can do multiple different things. Like Jared ain't even came back and started playing yet, but like Q Dot, we know what he can do. PG get back, VJ, and then big fella. There's so many different interchangeable parts. We have to share the ball with each other, and that's what VJ brought to the table. It's funny. He been telling me he gonna look for me, which is crazy. Like I'm supposed to be the other way around, but like he's been great. He's done a lot of different things out there on the court, so we appreciate having him.
The guards who could do multiple things, and he talked about Jared McCain, who is back at practice. He's not ready to play quite yet, but I just mentioned McCain. To me, McCain last year, who was a joy to watch, he set the tone for what this team could be if they could get their act together and find another guy. It seems that, look, VJ Edgecombe has played 4 games. This is not putting him into the Hall of Fame here. He's not going into the Hall of Fame anytime soon. But what he has done is given them a mental acuity that they just have not had. And I think it started with with Maxey, who was kind of the backseat driver. And it's the same thing. Keith Pompey was on yesterday's show, and he used to describe Maxey, when he was around guys like James Harden and some of the veteran players, as kind of like that pain-in-the-ass kid who's down the street. He always just keeps showing up, and you're like, okay, kid, okay, kid, okay, kid. All right, you want to play with us? All right, come on. And then that kid, like a couple years later, you're like, man, remember that little kid down the street? Well, look at him now. He's all grown up, and he's past all of us. Maxey did it. I think McCain's going to get there. And I think VJ Edgecombe, it's exactly how Keith Pompey described him yesterday. But one of the things is, as Tyrese Maxey talked about, what stood out to him about VJ Edgecombe, this was on Inside the NBA last night with Charles Barkley, Shaq, and Kenny, is it's the competitive nature that VJ Edgecombe brings to this team.
I think we have like a competitive nature. That's what I realized about VJ from day one. It's funny because the very first time I saw him, I was like, I told everybody, the entire team, I said, listen, I'll be at the gym at 6 o'clock in the morning. Anybody who wants smoke, play ones after we work out, show up. And BJ was there, and Trent Warford was there. There was only 2 players there. And that's when I knew. I was like, oh, yeah, he pushing me and going, like, trying to go at me in ones. That's when I knew. I went home and told my dad, I'm like, Dad, like, you're going to like this kid. Like, he got a different mentality about him. And he liked to have fun. He liked to work. It is the biggest thing that's our similarities. At the end of the day, we competitors. We want to win.
So the only 2 guys that showed up were Maxey, Edgecombe, and Trent Wofford are the 3 guys that showed up at 6 o'clock in the morning. But that is when Maxey said, I finally got a partner that I can run with. The one thing that I liked what VJ Edgecombe said is, and this is why you should really be happy, is that he's here. He's in Philadelphia. Okay, you're a guy that's coming to Philadelphia. It's a new town. It's a big city. You get lost in the city. You can go out and have some fun. He says, nah. City's too big and too busy for me.
Philly knows more of a city life over here. There's too many people for me, I'm going to be honest. So I just stay in my apartment. But on the floor, college and, spacing. There's a lot of space out here. And then I got Tyrese Maxey that can shoot from half court. So, life is a little easier over here if you ask me.
Yeah. And wait till McCain's out there to help you out a little bit more. 609-403-0973. But the elephant in the room in the conversation is, what about Joel, guys? VJ, you're young. You never played with Joel before. Maxey, you've played with Joel. You're seeing what he looks like right now. How does he fit into this mix?
Joe's a great person. He wants to be on the floor. From my perspective, I think that he wants to be on the floor. I mean, he's super good, like you said. And I think he's already at the All-Star level. Even though he's on
25 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's playing 20 minutes. He's still having 25 points. So I say with big fella back up there, I think we're gonna win the chip. If you ask me, I don't care what anyone else got to say though.
So he puts that bold little statement at the back end there.
Take it easy now, young whippersnapper.
But it sounds like Joel, Maxey, and McCain. It's funny. The question was to VJ. He talked about that he already thinks there. Maxey kind of chimes in. The dude scored 25 in 20 minutes. We'll see the evolution of Joel. I'm on record as saying I think Joel will be fine. I do think he needs to assert himself more defensively. I think as the second half of the season gets here, as long as he's kind of in the flow of these games, I think that he will get to where he needs to get to. You can't expect him to come out after not playing for 8 months and then come out there like the Energizer Bunny. He was, by the way, Joel was never this unbelievably athletic defensive player. That was never who he has been. He has always been just kind of a rim protector, banger. He's not a great rebounder. He's never been a great rebounder. But what he has been is a guy who's always altered shots, blocked shots, just been a big-time rim-protecting presence. And so far, I'm not sitting here defending him defensively. He has not been good enough defensively.
Well, who has been good enough defensively is Bona.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the game the other night, 5 blocks, I believe, right?
Yep, 5 blocks.
The fourth quarter blocks were huge. But going back to VJ, you see flashes, right? It reminds me of Jalen Carter's rookie year with the Eagles. You knew right away that guy was a great pick, and he's going to be a dominant force for years to come. Same thing with VJ. You see it right away, right off the bat. The guy has it.
Well, I would stress, a lot of Sixer rookies. Michael Carter-Williams had a triple-double his first night that he ever played for the Sixers.
True.
And I said that team went 3-0 that year, and then I think they went on like a 12-game losing streak or some elongated losing streak, and that team was terrible. But Michael Carter-Williams came out. He won the Rookie of the Year that year. The big thing for VJ is he's not coming into a team as the 3rd overall pick and having to be the best player. Like sometimes you get these guys, they're the 3rd pick, and they're going to Washington, and then you're looking around, and it's like there's nobody here except for me. You're the best player automatically right off the bat. VJ Edgecombe is coming in as a player who can compete and play immediately, but he's also not the best player on the team. This is the advantage of last year, them pulling the plug on that season, understanding, look, this season's over. It's just not worth it anymore. So they sat down in Embiid. They stopped playing George. They stopped playing Maxey. McCain got hurt. He was done. And they traded off some pieces and just said, this season's over. They got to the point where they ended up getting the 3rd pick in the draft. The getting the 3rd pick in the draft part was now we compare the 3rd pick in the draft with Maxey, McCain, Embiid, Paul George. The Sixers believe they had enough pieces last year that ended up getting hurt that if they could add the 3rd pick in the draft, like this is what we were talking about the other day.
That's why watching Ricky Council the 4th was worth it last year.
But this is where, like I was talking about this the other day on the Trust the Mikes pod, where Michael Kasky-Blomain and I were talking about the Celtics are in a prime position where they have some talent, but Tatum is hurt. So this would be a great year for them to not be so good. Find a player, and by the way, there are 3 players in this draft it's a loaded draft class. You end up being one of the top 3 picks in this year's draft if you're a team that has guys hurt, Halliburton, Tatum, and those guys come back next year, and then you put the number 2 pick in the draft with them, or the number 1 pick, or the number 3 pick, that's going to make those teams really tough. And that's what the Sixers are doing right now. They're a team that had a lot of talent, that got hurt last year, and then they slid in the number 3 overall pick, and voila, the number 3 overall pick actually happens to be pretty good.
And if you remember last year, Maxey kind of tried to take the leadership role, right? In that team meeting, he called out Joel Embiid. That got leaked to the media, and we all know what happened from there. But you saw kind of flashes from, I think, last year Maxey tried to do it.
I think Maxey is one of those guys that's been kind of trying, but the personalities around him kind of wouldn't let him do it. You got James Harden here, right? I mean, you got to kind of tiptoe around James Harden playing the same position as you and kind of being the one of the, elder statesmen on that team. Joel is not as much of a vocal type of leader. So I think Maxey's been kind of waiting his turn, and now that it's clearly his opportunity, I think he's kind of stepping into that. But now it's because he's got a guy to ride shotgun with him.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have that guy to ride shotgun with you, it's tough to take on the leadership role all by yourself. But now he's got a guy that can sit there and say, hey, it's like Jerry Maguire here. Who's coming with me? And VJ says, I'll come with you. Whereas before, he didn't have that guy ready to come with him.
And the Sixers also did sign Watford in the offseason. Those 2 guys are very close.
Josh, what do we got on the text board?
Oh, we got a lot on the text board coming in at 609-403-0973. I actually want to start with this text purposely from Shaner. Shaner says, great to hear some positive Sixers talk. Let the kids hustle. Is Maxey now next level top tier in your opinion? He said also, Barkley got hosed for MVP last year. Do you think Jonathan Taylor has a real shot? Shaner currently in Cape May.
Jonathan Taylor, probably not. I mean, running backs just don't generally win that award, although we talked about that yesterday during the unsportsmanlike moment of the day. Taylor's actually having a better season than Barkley did last year. If he breaks or comes close to the LaDainian Tomlinson touchdown mark, that might get him into the conversation. The positive Sixers talk he's talking about, and Maxey, yeah, when you have fun guards, like we talked about last year, Jared McCain was a joy to watch. The problem was he was a joy to watch on a team that had nobody around him. He got forced into playing because of injuries. You know, that was one of the things last year that you found out was they had to play him. He wasn't really in the rotation. They just kind of said, we don't have anybody else. We're going to have to play this kid. And then he went out there and said, dude, I can hoop.
And then he got hurt, and that joy was taken away from everybody.
Exactly. Thanks, Shaner.
Thanks for the beer, too, last week, Shaner.
Yeah, Shaner was at Chickies and Pete's last week in EHT. Bought us a beer.
Phil from Brigantine chimed in earlier in the show. He says, guys, great conversation about Myles Garrett and the Eagles. It would be awful that he got the bag, but would actually dig in and demand the trade at this point. Does Phil Brigantine wants to know, do you guys think he would actually force the Browns' hand?
It's hard to do that after you just signed that new deal. Right? I just signed a new deal. Now I don't want it anymore. I mean, that's kind of hard to do. So I don't think so. No, I don't think he demands a trade. Publicly anyway. I mean, he could. Now, once he tries to go to somebody in the front office, then it could get out, but I don't see that happening. I think this would be more the team saying, look, we're getting calls. What do you want to do here?
Do you think, Mike, that is there any scenario where the Garrett thing does happen? Like, do you just to go back to that? Like, do you think that there's any scenario where, like, is this a pipe dream or is there some reality to this?
I don't see it happening. The money's too much. It would only be a slim number of teams that could take it on. I mean, I don't think Dallas is smart enough to figure out how to get the cap situation.
No.
So you don't have to worry about those boneheads.
And you got only 5 days.
That's the one good thing about
right?
Dallas. They are so poorly run that they couldn't. Like, even if they could fit, like, if there was a way to get him in the cap, they're just so stupid they couldn't figure it out. I mean, that's the one thing about having Dallas in your division. You got two guys who just don't know how to manage cap, so they could not do it.
Oh, the Giants and the Cowboys.
The Cowboys specifically. I can't speak
I was
for
thinking
the Giants.
you were going with the Barkley Daniel.
Well,
Jones
the Giants just.
Giants.
I mean, the Cowboys have enough history to suggest they have no idea how to manage a cap.
Right. The Cowboys have 20 years plus of showing you what they can't do.
My point is Roseman would have found a way to keep Daniel Jones and Saquon.
Right,
Barkley.
but my point is he asked the question of do I see Garrett getting traded? And my point is not necessarily the teams that need a pass rusher, a lot of teams, but, the big-time teams that could maybe afford him or bring him in. Dallas has no idea what they're doing cap-wise. Maybe the Giants, but they're not in position to trade for a defensive end. They've drafted one every single year for the last 5 years, it feels like. I don't see that happening.
Couple more texts I want to get to. Chris from Delaware asks, if the Eagles were to get Myles Garrett, are you at all concerned about re-signing Carter, Nolan Smith, or Quinyon Mitchell?
A little bit. I mean, that's not my job to figure out. As I said, I'm no mathematician. I'm certainly not a cap wizard. I would be qualified to work in the Cowboys front office because I lack cap. I don't have a cap.
You're not a capologist?
I'm not a capologist, but I would think to that text message, what was his name?
Chris in Delaware.
Chris in Delaware. I would think if the Eagles made that trade, they would know ahead of time whether or not they could figure out a way to get everybody involved. Or they would say, we're going to prioritize Quinyon and Jalen, and Nolan Smith goes.
Andrew Summers Point says, guys, I can't remember the last time I couldn't wait to watch the Flyers and Sixers. He says, but alas, we still have the World Series. The Dodgers and the Blue Jays, their stars have produced to get them to the World Series. With the exception of last night's Dodgers hitters, and the relief pitching has been better than anyone expected. That's the reason why this series has been great. That's from Andrew in Summers Point.
Well, we'll say this. In the Phillies series, Ohtani was awful. So he didn't help them get to the World Series. That being said, he has been about the only offense. No, Kike Hernandez, as always. That guy's such a pain in the ass. He had a home run last night. He was the only offense they had. But, yeah, point taken on that. this Flyers-Sixers thing, you are right about that. I was thinking about this earlier today. The Sixers don't play tonight. That's back-to-back nights that they don't play. You're like, oh, man, I kind of wish I could watch the Sixers tonight. I'm kind of intrigued. But then the other part of me was like, they got 78 games left to go. Like, the long – but I said this season is not about the deep playoff run. Yes, you want a deep playoff run. You're hoping to get to the finals and maybe even win because it's a wide-open field. I think Oklahoma City is obviously a large favorite, but even in the East, it's wide open. But this is the year where the 78-game, the 82-game schedule should be fun for the Sixers because you are watching young players develop every single night and how they'll fit in. And how's Maxey and VJ going to entertain me tonight? And how's McCain when he come in? How's he going to be a part of it? And then Quentin Grimes hitting a big three. And then Joel. Like, how is this all going to – and then when Paul George comes back. So there is a little reason to watch the 72 games. By the way, speaking of the Flyers, Sam Harrison got placed on the injured list today. So they called up who? Kovalov?
Yeah.
Kovalov.
Yeah, from Triple
More
A.
details on our website with Durso, who's got a new podcast out, everybody. Check out Flyers Files if you are a Flyers fan. The first episode dropped yesterday. He'll be talking all things Flyers every Wednesday. But Flyers are, look, I've watched more first period to third period hockey this season than I have in a while.
And guess what? Flyers are back-to-back this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. So you got tonight, then you got Saturday, Sunday for those Fly guys.
Sunday games are tough.
It's Sunday night.
Yeah,
Sunday night at 7, so.
The Sixers also play Sunday at 6.
Brooklyn.
And that's going to be happening right during that Bills-Chiefs
game. Oh,
game.
yeah, I'm not watching any of the Sixers or Flyers. That Bills-Chiefs matchup, that's got me, man.
Damn it. All right, coming up, Jeff Nadeau's favorite plays of the weekend are coming up next. He's got his favorite college plays, one NFL play. As always, we give it to you right here on the Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN. A couple text messages coming in, 609-403-0973, 609-403-0973. You can get your text messages in. We'll continue to read them off throughout the show. Football at 4 today, Adam Kaplan is here. Also, did you see the betting odds for next year's World Series? Phillies are plus 1,000. Third best betting odds, shortest odds to a World Series. Dodgers are the favorite. Yankees are next. Phillies are third, plus 1,000. Heck, this World Series is not even over yet.
Oh, and it's going to go 7 games.
You think?
Yamamoto tomorrow night?
Ooh,
no
Yamamoto,
question.
Gosman tomorrow night. More Sports Bash coming up. All right, welcome back, everybody. Sports Bass Live over at Chickies and Pete's in Atlantic City. Go where the players go right here at Chickies and Pete's. Of course, they've got the happy hour Chickies and Pete's every Monday through Friday from 4 to 6. $3 domestic, $6 seltzers, $6 Tito's, plus half off some Chickies food favorites right here at Chickies and Pete's. Go where the players go. Chickies and Pete's, Atlantic City. Jeff Nadeau's back here with his favorite plays, his best picks of the weekend here on the Sports Bass Live 97.3 ESPN. Jeff, what's going on, man?
Hey, Mike, how are you?
Doing well. It's good to see you. It's another week in the college football world. It's going too fast. We're starting to hit the month of November. Down the stretch they come. I want to start with this question. Should I believe that Indiana can win a national championship?
Yeah, I think absolutely you can. I mean, they're terrific on both sides of the ball. They've got a great defense. Their coach is, I think, one of the best in the country. They've got a great quarterback. They've got plenty of weapons. Why not?
All right, I'm seeing this team, and it's like one of those things. It's like Indiana, they're new. Vanderbilt, they're new. Anytime there's like a new, you're always kind of trepidatious in like believing them. I like Indiana. Signetti, by the way, played quarterback at West Virginia, so he's a stud for me. That being said, everybody kind of looked at them coming in like, that team was kind of fluky last year. They kind of came out of one-year wonder, nowhere. They won 56-6 last week, and they could have won 80-6 if they wanted to.
I remember at the beginning of the year, I told a lot of people that I loved their win total. It was only 8.5, which is crazy. I thought this team on paper was better than the one last year. I thought Mendoza was a better quarterback prospect than Rourke was. They brought back virtually everybody on offense and defense. Yeah, I'm very high on Indiana, and I know we're going to talk about them here today.
Yes, we are. That's one of Jeff's plays. We'll see which way he's going. I won with them last Saturday against UCLA. That outfit's terrible right now. Let's look at maybe one of the bigger games of this weekend, Oklahoma, Tennessee. That is a 7:30 game. You can listen to that game on Rock 104.1 on Saturday night. Oklahoma, Tennessee, -3.5. There's some interesting trends in this game. Oklahoma, 10-3-1 against the spread as a road dog in the last 20 years. That's the best in FBS. The under in OU games is 7-1 this season. But you got Tennessee, 30-19 as a favorite since 2020. So a lot of interesting trends in this one.
Yeah, and I think a lot of the trends and stats I think you're going to see about Oklahoma, I think are a little unwarranted and or overvalued. Number one, I like the over in this game. I didn't pick a side. This total should not be in the 50s. Number one, Oklahoma recently got their quarterback, John Mateer, back. With John Mateer in the lineup, this offense is much better than maybe even what they've showed at 28 points a game. Throw in the fact that on defense, they've been lucky to play, I think, a stable of pretty bad quarterbacks throughout the season. They finally played a real quarterback last week and a real offense in Ole Miss and lost 34-26. This defense, to me, is a little overvalued. They're not terrible. They're actually quite good. But I think against a good offense like Tennessee, it's clear they're on their back foot. They really struggled in the red zone. They were steps slow against Ole Miss. And against Tennessee, that's going to be problematic. They're just as good an offense as Ole Miss is. They have a great quarterback. You talk about, Mike, defensively, Tennessee is dreadful. I mean, this is one of the worst passing defenses in the country. Akron, Buffalo, Kennesaw State all have better pass defenses than this one. Tennessee can't stop anybody. I like the over. It's too low. To me, it should be closer to 60. You can currently find 55s out there. I like the over in this game.
All right, over Oklahoma, Tennessee. That game, again, is on Saturday night, 7:30. You can listen to it on Rock 104.1. Friday night, we got Sam Houston, Louisiana Tech. This is a Jeff Nadeau game, if I've ever heard one. Plus 16.5 for Sam Houston. Over under 48.5. Louisiana at home. They are the favorite.
Yeah, so I generally like to include one of these games, my kind of off the beaten path. This is kind of my bread and butter. I love La Tech here at home. They're off of a 10-day bye, essentially, where they're off a close loss to a good team in West Kentucky. La Tech's got a terrific defense. They were able to kind of retool a little bit, get healthy. And they have a great quarterback in Blake Baker who can really move the football. They're a big play offense. They're playing Sam Houston, one of the worst teams in America, one of the worst pass defenses in America. Sam Houston's 0-7. The season's over for this team. They may actually not win a game. I don't see a winnable game, maybe outside of one on this schedule. Season's over for them. Against any quality opponent, they have lost every game by 17 14 or more. I think La Tech gets back on the horse here, takes care of a bad opponent. I think they win this game like 35-10, something like that. I like the La Tech Bulldogs here. I think they run it up.
All right, 16.5, the current number on that one. Let's go to another Saturday night game, ACC style. Florida State and Wake Forest. The Demon Deacons are 5-2. However, they are a 10.5-point dog in this one on the road at Florida State, where the Seminoles obviously not having the type of year that they hoped.
Yeah, I think a couple of weeks ago, Mike, I told you that I liked SMU in a very similar spot against Clemson, who I thought was overvalued. I don't know what odds makers are seeing here with Florida State. I think they're still treating this team like it's the one that beat, who was it? The Alabama. Other than that, this has been
opening night. Yeah, that was opening weekend.
Yeah, this has been a pretty much failure season for Florida State. They've lost some bad games recently. I look at Wake. I mean, this is a really undervalued football team. They're bowl eligible with a win here. Mike, if I told you Wake had the 26th best defense in the country, would you believe me? Well, they are. They're good against the run. They've been really good against the pass. They actually, I think, to me, have the better defensive front and secondary than Florida State. I like the way their new quarterback, Purdy's, played. They have a great running back in Damon Claiborne. They've also been pretty good as a dog. They're well coached. I don't understand this number. And I will point out to anybody that gets a little technical, about 90% of the actual money coming in early this week came in on Wake, which signifies that sharp money's all over the Demon Deacons here. I think they could challenge to win it. I think it's similar to SMU Clemson. SMU won that game. I don't know if Wake will win, but I think they hang around.
All right, let's go. You talked about Indiana earlier. They are number 2 in the country. They are playing Maryland this week, and they are a road favorite, 22.5, over under 50.5. The Terps, by the way, so far 97% of the bets have been placed are betting on the Hoosiers.
And I think they're right. And there's a couple of reasons why. You mentioned, Mike, how good Indiana's been the last 2 years. To me, the most important metric in football is how many times you score a touchdown in the red zone. Okay, and you look at Indiana last year, 2nd nationally. They were good. You look at this year, 14th nationally. Okay, they're very good as well. If you don't score touchdowns in the red zone, you will not win. You will not cover games. You will not be effective. Indiana's checked those boxes. Here's another issue. You look at Maryland, 133rd in that metric. There's only 136 teams. Maryland is not going to get a ton of opportunities as it is against this type of defense. The fact that they're this poor in the red zone signify to me this has a blowout waiting to happen. And it reminds me, I think, a lot of the game probably last week. They didn't get many possessions, UCLA, and the possessions they had, they weren't able to do much of anything with them. Indiana is difficult. I like Maryland's young quarterback. You know, maybe this game is interesting at maybe half. It's like 28-13 or something where it's not totally over, but I think Indiana pulls away. I think this number might be a little light, quite honestly. Indiana has been just leaving no doubt. They're great as a favorite under Signetti. I think they do it again here.
And I, always keep with them is what I talked about in the beginning, Jeff, is they feel like they have to kick the crap out of everybody because they're Indiana. So if we win 28-20, okay, we won. But we're Indiana. We have to win 56-6 to show people, no, we are not only Indiana, we're really freaking good Indiana.
Well, and if you look, there are coaches that have made clear, like there's a coach in college basketball, he coaches at Kentucky, Mark Pope, he used to be at BYU. He's talked openly about like understanding how, he doesn't say point spreads, but he talks about analytics and how important winning by margin is. Again, it doesn't matter whether you win or lose. Winning by margin makes just winning look a lot better. And I think the thought in Signetti is he wants to win by margin. You look at this season, Mike, average scoring margin, how often and how much you're winning by. Indiana, number 1 in the country. They're winning on average by 29 points a game. You look at last year, on average, they won by 22 points a game. They're way better this year. They're about a touchdown better this year. So under Signetti, there's a clear method of we want to win by as many points as possible.
get an NFL game from Jeff. When you have an NFL pick, it's generally one that you have a pretty strong feel on. One of the more interesting games. You got Pittsburgh coming off of a loss. You got the Colts, who many people think, like the Hoosiers, might be the best team in the league.
And, Mike, what did I tell you last week? Do you remember?
Pittsburgh stinks.
No, about the game I picked. I told you the
last
Eagles
week.
would kill the Giants, and they did.
Oh, you did. That's right. You did. You said the game would be a blowout.
An easy winner. Now, we addressed this game. What did I just tell you about red zone percentage? It's also very important in the NFL, right? You look at this season. Pittsburgh, 3rd in touchdown rate in the red zone. Indy, 8th. You have a defense in Pittsburgh that I don't think is very good. They look a step slow right now. Their offense has been fine. They've been able to move the football. I mean, Indy's one of the best offenses in the NFL. In fact, they are the best offense in the NFL. And you know what's crazy, Mike? They're 3 points better than everybody else offensively. Pretty impressive. I gotta feel good for Daniel Jones. I mean, he was up in New York with that crappy organization for so long. It's a wonder what a good coach and some playmakers will do for you. Pittsburgh hasn't been bad either, 11th nationally in scoring defense. I like both these offenses. I don't love either defense. Indy's been good enough. I think Pittsburgh's good enough to get into the 20s here. I like the over here. I played over 50.
By the way, the Colts cover by 10 points per game. It's the highest in the Super Bowl era. So they are not only covering, they are covering with ease.
We look at another team here, Mike. Yep, Indianapolis, scoring margin of plus 14.5. At home, they win games on average by 18 points a game. Pretty impressive. They got to go on the road for this one, though.
All right, there you go. Likes the over in that one for Pittsburgh and the Colts. Jeff Nadeau back. You can follow him at Jeff Nadeau for all his sports betting plays and all of his takes on everything that's happening. College basketball is going to be getting underway soon. I know that's another bread and butter for you as well. We're going to be talking more about that. And, of course, you can hear him right here on the Sports Bash Live Wednesdays on 97.3 ESPN. Jeff, see you, man.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, there's Jeff. And, of course, you can follow him at Jeff Nadeau. Everybody here on the Sports Bash, he gave you those 4 plays and an NFL play, the over Pittsburgh and the Colts. All right, coming up. We got the unsportsmanlike moment of the day, plus football at 4. The Eagles made a trade yesterday, which we haven't talked a lot about today. We were all over it yesterday, but Adam Kaplan is going to tell us coming up at 4 o'clock for today's football at 4, the secondary picture now, what the cornerback spot looks like after the Michael Carter trade. That's coming up in about 15 minutes from now here on the Sports Bash.
If it's hard to officiate, figure it out, man. Figure out how to officiate it. You're limiting our game because one team does something exceptionally well that every other team has the ability to do and chooses not to or can't do it to that level.
That was Jeff Saturday on Unsportsmanlike. It's our Unsportsmanlike moment of the day, brought to you by Whitehorse RV Center. Your fine fall closeout savings on 2025 and select pre-owned. Shop now before they're gone at Whitehorse RV. Your RV adventure starts here. All right, so he's talking about the tush push, which happened on Sunday's game and the way it was officiated. I wanted to bring this up because I do feel, and I don't want to say against the tush push. I don't want to paint myself as like I'm anti-tush push.
Like you're Mike Pereira or Dean Blandino. He was the real one.
Right, but, I mean, I've said I don't think the play should be legal. I definitely think that the play is unfair advantage to the offense. That being said, one of the problems is it is a very hard play to officiate. What happened on Sunday, though, is an officiating blunder. It's not because the play. That could have happened in any play where these people, they shouldn't have blown the play dead. The forward progress was he was still going forward, and the ball came out.
That's the point of the tush push, right? Is the forward progress has never stopped because he's getting pushed.
Listen, this is going away because of all the hoopla every single week to this. But Saturday's right. I don't think it should just go away because the officials don't know what to do. That's an asinine reason. I think it should go away. Someone should just step up and say the real thing. It's an unfair advantage to the offense that we no longer think is appropriate. That's it. That's why it goes away. The offense has 5 guys pushing the pile forward. The defense really can't do anything about it. No, we don't want that anymore. That's all. I don't understand how everybody, the officials, they don't know what to do. That's because the officials are a bunch of bozos. The way they officiate these games, they're awful. They should watch back. They should have to sit and watch themselves back over and over again and just say, now you grade yourself. How do you think you did?
See, that's part of my problem, this whole thing, Mike, which is like, instead of saying, oh, this play is too hard for officials to officiate, why is nobody asking the question, why is the officials so bad?
No, I think everybody's asking that question. Why is the officiating so bad? Everybody asked the question. The problem is, why doesn't anybody in the league offices seem to care that their officiating is so bad? That's the problem. John McMullen talks about it all the time on the show. The over-legislation of the rules in this league is a major problem, that these officials have way too many things that they have to know and master, and they just can't do it. The game is too fast. They can't keep up. Some of these guys have no business being out there to begin with. I was listening to a podcast about how, in the NBA, it's like you're picking referees. A lot of them are coming from like this one conference because the guy who runs the NBA officials is from a certain area in Pennsylvania, and he keeps getting all his boys into this conference, and then they go from there to the NBA. Like, it is just a mess. Most of these officials, you ever look at some of these guys, and then you think to yourself, if this guy walked up to me on the street and wanted to start talking football, you'd be like, this guy's a complete idiot. And he's officiating an NFL game. What are we doing? I mean, I'd like to see if we could do like some sort of I think people who should apply for the NFL officiating jobs would be on the show American Gladiators. Right? They would be contestants on American Gladiators.
I'd tune in for that.
Because
that'd be a great reality show.
We got guys that look like they should be showing up at your house doing water tests. Hey, I'm here to check to see if your water is okay.
I'm here to check your electrical meter.
Yeah. I mean, I got a guy.
Just put a striped shirt on him and a whistle, and you got a ref.
Seriously, you got guys running from the sidelines looking like, hey, some lady stole my cat. Oh, what? Like, what is happening with the NFL officiating? Like, these guys just look like they are so ill qualified, completely unqualified for the job they are doing at the level they are at. I digress. Coming up, football at 4. Adam Kaplan is in the house today. Looking forward to that. Adam's take is on the Eagles trade yesterday where they've acquired pretty much a slot corner, Michael Carter is. Yes, he has played a little bit of outside, but he is mainly a slot corner. So will they move Cooper DeJean? Is that what's going to happen? We're going to dive into what Adam Kaplan's hearing on that. Coming up next on the Sports Bash, live from Chickies and Pete's, where the players go right here. It's Chickies and Pete's, Tropicana, Atlantic City. All right, there's our 99 Bottles contest sounder. Caller 7 right now, 609-573-3776, 609-573-3776. Caller 7, you are entered for this year's 99 Bottles party at Maynard's in Margate. We're going to be there November the 26th. 99 qualifiers, 99 pairs of tickets, 99 winners. That means everybody who qualifies wins a pair of tickets. Where are you going to go? Well, could be a Flyers game. Could be a Sixers game. It could be to see the Eagles and the Bears at Lincoln Financial Field on Black Friday. That'd be a cool one. We got concert tickets. We got tickets to all sorts of events. Caller 7 right now. Good luck to you. It's all brought to you by Maynard's, 9306 Amherst Avenue in Margate. Football at 4 is powered by the Inside the Birds podcast, which you can get on all podcasting platforms, and is brought to you by the Fanatics Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. Go to the gallery, go to Ocean, go for the win. For more, visit oceanac.com. Adam Kaplan is in the hot seat today for today's Football at 4, which, of course, a little trade yesterday for the Eagles right before Football at 4. We touched on it with Jeff Mosher, but now that the dust has settled, let's see what the Eagles' secondary looks like now with a new piece in the secondary. Adam Kaplan is here to explain on Football at 4 today. Adam, welcome.
Mikey, let's do that because there's some information that's not correct. And on our YouTube message board, right, our community board, it's kind of funny. People are throwing a lot of stuff out there. So we're gonna help people learn this thing, really what it looks like, the way the coaches and front offices look at it, and where guys fit in and so forth. So Michael Carter he's not a corner. He's a safety, believe it or not, and a nickel. So Michael Carter was a safety at Duke. Talking to the Jets about him over the years, they thought he had versatility to play inside. First 3 years of his career with the Jets, terrific. Probably a top 5 nickel. Got the big contract extension. And then they had the coaching change, and in season, Robert Saleh got canned. And then Michael Carter started losing his job. Isaiah Oliver, as a veteran corner, started cutting into his role. And then this year, the new staff was down on Carter, and they moved Jarvis Brownlee over him, who was acquired via trade from the Titans a month ago. So he was on his way out. They didn't want him. They made it clear to anyone they're trying to move him. They got next to nothing for them. But you know what? He's a young guy, talented, real smart. He's got to learn the scheme yet. I think we're running a little bit too fast with DeJean moving to corner. Yes, in their base defense and early downs, that's where DeJean lines up. I'm not saying that DeJean might not transfer over to corner more than nickel. That might happen, but let's call our Jets first. Let's just let Carter learn the scheme. Our understanding is he's not playing corner. He's playing nickel, and they're probably going to cross-train him at safety. We'll see what happens in practice this week, but that's our understanding. I think what happens, Mike.
Well, as you know, Adam, a lot of people associate nickel as a corner.
Right, but it's not.
Right. Not according to Nick.
Not.
According to Nick.
Well,
Nick
no, that it's really. I call it like, okay, so Vic and I don't agree with one thing. He calls OLBs edges. Well, OLBs, it depends what scheme you're in. Now, for Vic's scheme, OLBs are edges. Okay, that's what they are.
Right.
In the Steelers scheme, they're like T.J. Watt is an edge rusher, but they call him an LB. They do call him a linebacker. I wouldn't call him a linebacker, but the bottom line is Vic calls nickels because they're not. Although look, you've watched Cooper DeJean. He's no ordinary nickel. You'll see him cover a tight end. He will cover receivers, and that's why they play him in base on the outside. Yes, he's an add-in defender against the run, but it's not like if they drop back, he won't drop out to cover somebody. So the nickels right now, Mike. Let's move on here. Are DeJean and Michael Carter. Mac McWilliams, unfortunately, Mike, barring something unforeseen, is not going to contribute. I'm a little surprised by it, what we've seen so far. The fact that they traded Michael Carter gave you the answers to the test. Nobody has to guess what's happened here. Mac McWilliams is not factoring in. He counts against the roster at 53, but he's not playing. So, off-season, get him into an off-season, full off-season, see what happens. He's a talented kid. The Eagles like him. But he's not factoring. So right now the nickels are DeJean and Carter. No, Makuba does not count as a nickel. He's not a nickel now. He could down the line. Who knows, Mike, in future years. But right now he's just a safety. Now, those are the nickels. Let's go to cornerback. This is where people are confused. Mitchell, DeJean, Jackson's got the concussion. We'll see if he gets clear for next week. And Ringo. Those are your 4 who are on the 53. Bennett is not on the 53. He practiced last week, but they've not activated him yet. He's going to be activated at some point before the 21-day window expires, barring a setback, of course, with his pectoral strain. So, look, they'll have 5 corners. But here's the question, Mike. If you want to win a Super Bowl, this is what I ask people. And I know people on our message boards are completely mixed on this one. We got the Ringo Truthers, or although there are not a lot left, there used to be about 500. We're down about 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah.
They still believe, the ones who are holding on, they still believe that the guy could be a starting quality corner. Nobody around the league believes that, but the truthers believe it. So Those people don't care about the Eagles adding another quarter. They don't think they need to. The people really understand what Ringo is and isn't. Understand he's got certain limitations. He's got 3 of them. Lower body stiffness, connected that with his transitioning, and he has real trouble stopping and starting. He's a 4th corner. Really, if you have your druthers, you could play him as your 3rd. Rather than your 4th, he's starting right now because they have nobody better. They're not good enough at corner opposite Mitchell. That's a fact. That is why DeJean may wind up playing a lot more corner than Vic would like him to. You got to do what's best for your football team, whether Vic wants to do it or not. It's his call, by the way. And eventually, if you want to be a Super Bowl team, you got to get a right corner who could stand up. And look, let's move this forward. We'll talk more about this next week when we get ready for Green Bay, which will be a great test on Monday night. What if Ringo's starting, right? Did you see what Jordan Love did last week to the Steelers? Did you see that?
Yep.
He tore them apart. Do you not think they have by the way, when they're healthy, they have the deepest receiver core. They have the deepest receiver core. Yeah. Slade, by the way, is near the end of his great career, by the way. He's not a Hall of Famer, but he was a great Eagle, and it's one of the better trades Howie Roseman's ever made. But look, they cut him for a reason. He's near the end at 33 years old. They're struggling on their back end. Love tore him apart in the 4th quarter. He was incredible. So it's a problem. I'm just telling you that the right cornerback problem is a problem if you want to win a Super Bowl. So those are your corners. And your safeties are Makuba, Blankenship. Sidney Brown is, he's averaging 7 snaps on defense a game. That kind of tells you what the coaches think of him. And Marcus Epps is back.
There you are. You dropped for a half a second.
Sorry.
You said Marcus Epps is back is where we lost you.
Right. Marcus Epps is back as their 4th safety. And they only play Sidney Brown 7 snaps a game on defense. So they have enough players there. I'm very interested to see what their thinking is with Carter here, how he factors in at safety. Do they need another one? No, but my sense is Vic has never been a big Sidney Brown fan. Just based on his usage, it's clear that he's not. And we're going to see what they do with Michael Carter this week. So that's that. I'm very disappointed with Mac McWilliams' usage. It's clear it's a practice issue. He's not good enough. I get that.
Yeah.
But boy, I know they like him. I just don't know what's happened with him. I wasn't expecting him to play a lot.
No, I agree with you. I liked him too, and I thought he'd be a surprise, but they just haven't even activated him there. But so it sounds like a lot of people initially saw Carter, figured, well, he plays a lot of nickel slot corner, and that DeJean could bounce to the outside, but that's not necessarily how this will play out.
It could be, but Mike, I mean, realistically, if they want to win a Super Bowl, and they don't, by the way, the trade deadline is Tuesday, we're not ruling out a corner. Edge is definitely they're definitely in the market. Other teams have told us that they're looking at edge, but if they don't make a trade for a true corner, what choice does Vic have right now? If you want to win, Mike, what would you do?
I love DeJean at nickel corner. I hate moving him out of that spot because of the way he is up against the run.
Okay.
And listen, I can't really judge him as an outside corner because I really haven't seen him do it enough. We all just assume that he's going to run and cover some of these elite receivers. Maybe he can. I don't know that. I don't have that answer.
That's fair. But, Mike, what's your recourse here? If they don't make a trade, are you comfortable with Keeler Ringo being your starting corner for the Super Bowl?
Absolutely not. Ringo to me.
Well, then you just answered it for me. What else are they going to do?
No, Ringo to me
that's what people don't understand.
Yeah.
They don't understand. Like Joey Jackson, come on, he can't. He's near the end of his career. Like, what are we talking about here? That's my point, Mike. I hear you. DeJean is dynamic as a nickel.
Yeah.
But they drafted him to play corner. I get it changed. Things changed. It's okay. They changed their mind based on need, and he wasn't ready to play corner initially because he came in with an injury. But you got to do what's best for your football team. That's why. But this discussion, the reason why I wanted to have it with you is that's why it's not set in stone. We're just assuming that DeJean will transfer over to corner full time. I'm not saying he won't play more there. But on your point, he's so good in nickel. Let's just see what happens. The problem is, Mike, they don't have a lot of choices. None of them are very good, other than DeJean at corner.
Yep.
And then you make a fair point. He hasn't really played it in passing situations. He's played it mostly in base down. So it's not easy, Mike. But I wanted to walk through it because I think people are sort of conflating things. And one guy's like, oh, they've started backups before there and won, or other positions have won, so that's okay. No, it's not okay. That's not the way teams think. It's comical when people think that way. But they're entitled to their opinion.
All right. So they do go make a trade. Have you heard the rumor today, which was
no, what's the latest one?
3 first-round picks for Myles Garrett? That was Charles Robinson. It wasn't some
my guy. Charles is a friend of mine.
Yes,
Did he put that out?
He was on Nashville radio today, and I don't know that he was reporting it, but he was saying that maybe I don't. Josh, do you have that audio? Do you have that queued up? If you do, just let me know in my ear. But
1 sec.
Yeah, I'd love to hear that. I don't. Charles is a pretty responsible guy, so maybe he was just speculating what it would take, though.
So
ready.
Josh has the audio. Here it is.
Okay, good.
Rumor going around, and I have not heard it out of the Eagles, but I've heard it from a couple of other, high-ranking people and other teams that are clearly on the phones. That Howie Roseman and the Eagles are super hot after Myles Garrett, and how he'd give up like 3 first-round picks for him.
There you go.
Oh, all right. So he's hearing it from other teams. Look, Mike, they were in on Micah Parsons. We know about that. Jeff and I have been saying on so many of our shows for 2 months, they've not given up the hope to make a trade. It could be Bradley Chubb. It could be someone else available from another team. Bradley Chubb's available. By the way, played for Vic in 2 spots. Who knows? It could be Jalen Phillips or Chop Robinson. So it could be anybody. Yeah. It could be a number of guys. They have enough players at edge once BG comes back. But I say that, do we know what BG looks like yet? He's 37 years old.
Vic says he looks okay. He looks okay. That's what Vic said, right?
Yeah, we don't know yet. But even BG said this. No expectations because he doesn't know. It's about having high-end quality players. And if you could get that. Now, people said, they went with average guys. I said, Josh Sweat's not an average player. Like, well, first of all, he's not a great pass rusher. He's better than average. Just a good football player. BG, before he got hurt last year, the best game he got that he had in the last 5 years was against the Rams when he got hurt. And Milt Williams we have to remember how many players the Eagles have lost on defense. It's hard to make that up.
Agree. But, that would be interesting. 3 first-round picks for Myles Garrett, who had 5 sacks the other day in a game, and that would probably look good in the Philadelphia defense.
And they still lost.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Well, that's the point, though, is they still
yeah.
Listen, I said before, he agreed to sign that deal for $40 million when he wanted to get out of there because he said he wanted to win. And then he signed that deal. So you know what? You reap what you sow, buddy.
They're terrible. They don't have a quarterback. They've got a number of injuries on defense. But, yeah, Mike, here's the thing. Obviously, a trade like that, the Eagles roster overall is pretty it's young, which you like. And Myles Garrett's probably got 3 really good years left in him. I know for a fact they've always had a fascination with him. They really have. They've practiced against him a number of times, played against him. He's the best best edge rusher overall in the NFL, based on everything that he does. Plays inside and nickel if you want him to. But look, the Browns have made it clear they're not trading him. They made Andrew Berry made that clear when he thwarted off every team that called. They're not trading him. I still believe that's the case. But, man, until they get a quarterback, the Browns, they're going to be awful. That's just the way it is.
All right, lastly, the trade deadline's Tuesday. What other positions or position do they need to address?
It's funny. I don't know what to make of Brett Toth, Mike. You and I have not talked about this yet. He was unbelievable in this last game. Mike, it's one of the most amazing – now, it's only one game. Let's make it clear. But I've not seen a guy who was so poor before – he never showed any progress on the field, like in games. I'm talking about practice. And then looks like an elite player for one game. Now, are the Eagles really going to buy in for one game that this guy now is dependable to be Juergen's backup at center and be the top backup right guard? I don't agree with it, but, I just know the way they think. And Stout, this is Stout's guy. Stout kind of found him. He certainly had a hand in it, from what I understand. So I have the stinking suspicion they think that they're good with Toth. It was just amazing. The athleticism for folks who get to watch the old 22. I watched it on Tuesday. My mouth dropped. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, who is this guy?
Right.
It's like he went through a transformation in one game. It's real, by the way. What he did wasn't luck. It was amazing. So again, corner and edge especially. The Eagles may think they could get away with what they have a corner. I don't believe it, and I don't agree with it. And other teams don't, but we'll see what happens. And then, other than that, Mike, no. Honestly, there's nothing that they would need. D tackle, they're okay with. Ty Robinson's starting to play a little bit. Byron Young has been a nice find for them. They claimed him off waivers last year from the Raiders. They're okay there. But edge, they got to get. They really need somebody else, Mike. And Ojulari's hurt. And by the way, the other thing is, if they were playing Campbell at true edge, he doesn't. When he lines up on the edge, he's not there. He's not rushing. He's there to play the run. Had he been used as an edge rusher, different discussion, Mike. We're not having that discussion because they're not using him as an edge rusher.
Yeah. All right. Well, it's Tuesday. We'll see if they do something else. There's always something brewing in Howie Roseman's phone and in his head. We'll see what he ends up doing. Adam Kaplan's back on Tuesday at the trade deadline right here on Football at 4. Thanks, Adam.
Thank you. And
Football at 4 is brought to you by the Fanatics Sportsbook at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City. We'll be there on Monday, the day before the trade deadline, getting ready for the Eagles and the Packers. Let's kind of recap some of the Football at 4 takes right there from Adam Kaplan, which, he talked about Michael Carter and what they might do with him. And that, look, he is a safety who got to play in college. He played corner, nickel corner, slot corner, which, Vic Fangio has kind of semantically made these two different positions now, that a nickel back is different from a corner back. A slot corner is different from, an outside corner, which he's not wrong, but they kind of all play cover positions. The difference is the slot corner is called on to be more a part of the run defense. And that's where Cooper DeJean, I feel like, is invaluable, is that he can be a part of the run defense. He can cover running backs, tight ends, wide receivers, slot receivers, and he can do it from that inside area and still be cognizant and quick enough to notice when there's a run. He has a unique ability to kind of keep his eyes inside to see if the play is being a running play, and then break free and make tackles. So he is so good in that spot. But the point that Adam brought up is you got to do what's best for the team. Are you going to play in an NFC championship game against Detroit and have Kaylee Ringo lined up with Amon-Ra St. Brown or Jamison Williams? I don't want to see that. The question I would have, though, is I don't know that Cooper DeJean, I've never really seen him play outside corner for a full game running around with receivers of that magnitude. Now,
well, you bring that up. Is the best case scenario is Mitchell follows the best receiver and DeJean follows the second.
But I'm talking
receiver.
about a game where you have two receivers. Like when you play
Amon-Ra
Dallas.
St. Brown and Jamison Williams or Dallas.
Right. Now, you're not going to play Dallas in the playoffs, obviously, but like you saw Minnesota, Jordan Addison, he's not, like a number one type of guy. In the NFC, if you play the Rams, I mean, they got Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua. So those are two really, really good wide receivers. Washington, Debo, I don't think they're going to make the playoffs, though. I think Washington's probably cooked.
But is that the best defensive plan for the Eagles then?
Playing DeJean at the outside, if Michael Carter can legitimately play. See, that's been the thing is, do they have someone that can play nickel corner, nickel slot, whatever you want to call that position? Do you have somebody that can play it that you feel comfortable enough moving Cooper outside? Or do you feel more comfortable with the outside guys than you do the other reserve nickel guys? And then I guess Carter would potentially say, I feel comfortable enough playing him there more than I do playing Kaylee Ringo or Adoree Jackson.
Well, and would this just be a short-term fix, or this would be a long-term position switch for Cooper?
Good question. I think if you heard what Vic Fangio said on Tuesday, they think that Cooper can pretty much play safety, corner, outside corner, inside corner, probably can play linebacker, maybe defensive end if they needed him to. I'm just kidding on that one. But, yeah, like that he could play pretty much any of the three spots, outside corner, slot corner, safety, if they needed him to, and be the best option that they have. The question is, what's the drop-off to the other guy that plays? And so far, the other guy has been Adoree Jackson and Kaylee Ringo. That means that they think that those guys are better suited to play outside than whoever else would be the inside nickel guy.
Really quick, so just to remind everybody that they had been cross-training Mac McWilliams at both nickel and outside corner. So, Mike, is this Carter acquisition also them saying, hey, Mac, he's not ready yet. We still like him, but he's not ready yet?
so far, let's see what happens. Normally after the bye week, you have that whole, self-scouting, and we always say, hey, you're going to the bye week. Are there any changes that you want to make from the first half of the year or from before the bye? The bye week just happens to come like right in the middle of the year for this team. So you got a full half of things to kind of evaluate. Is there any spot where you're like, they have to go figure out if somebody else can play? Obviously, the one spot is outside corner. You've had 8 weeks to look at Mac McWilliams, try to cross-train him. He has not appeared or been active in my memory of any game this year.
Nope.
So, after 8 weeks, going into week 10, because they played 8 games, they're out week 9, they play week 10. After 10 weeks in a full training camp, do they finally say, you know what, we've been training and training and training and training this guy. We now think he's ready to help us? I have a hard time seeing that happen, but it's possible that they're like, hey, we drafted this guy, we really liked him, we knew he was going to take a little while, but now that time is here. Maybe. I don't see it happening. I think what you most likely see is Michael Carter, slot, Cooper DeJean, outside.
You do worry about what happens on those plays where we've seen Cooper DeJean come up, make plays on a Jamar Chase, middle of the field. He's there. Mm-hmm. So you do worry about what's going to happen, during some of those plays.
And there's still Tuesday, right? They could do anything between now and Tuesday. What about Asante Samuel Jr.? He's looking for a job. I know he's had that neck problem.
Yeah, he's had the neck problem, and also you can't tell me that 32 teams are all wrong about a guy. Obviously, this neck issue is enough of a red flag that 32 teams are all saying, yeah, we're not signing you for this year.
Well, a lot of those 32 teams are kind of out of it. So, I mean, not a lot. I probably 10. How many teams are, done?
I mean, I would probably count 10, but let me pull up the full standings just to count.
Because there's a lot. We did the Fine Fog Ugly 5 yesterday. There's a lot of uglies. I mean, they're just stacking on top of. You got the 5 that we put in there yesterday.
The NFC is all pretty balanced, I would say.
Well, out of it right now, Miami, the Jets, Cleveland, Tennessee.
That's all AFC teams.
Raiders. That's because I'm going from the top of the AFC down.
That makes sense.
That's 5. Giants, 6. Saints, 7. Arizona, they're 8. Those are 8 teams that I think are done, and then there's probably another couple more that probably should think they're done but probably don't think they're done, like Atlanta, Minnesota, Washington, Dallas. If I'm Dallas, I'm out of this thing, dude.
Are you, though?
Dallas? I think so.
You don't think they have enough offense to maybe carry the day?
Carry the day to what? To a wild card? Yeah, maybe they could be a wild card team. Are they better than Green Bay? No.
No.
Are they better than the Lions?
No.
Are they better than the Seahawks?
No.
Are they better than the Rams?
No.
Are they better than the Niners?
No.
Even Chicago's
they're going to have to be. They're going to have to be better than one of those teams.
And that tie really hurts them.
No, the tie helps them.
Well, Dallas, I think it hurts Dallas. It helps Green Bay.
Possible, but it might help Dallas if they go 9-7-1. Then that one helps them. I just don't know that they're not getting into the playoffs. They're not getting there. They got to be better than one of the teams I just mentioned, Green Bay or Detroit. One of those teams win the division. The other team's a wild card. They have to be better than Seattle, the Rams, and the Niners. One of those teams win the division. 2 of the other ones are probably going to get into the playoffs. They've also, by the way, they've got to be better than Carolina. Carolina beat them head-to-head, and they have a better record than Carolina does, than the Dallas Cowboys do right now. So they're not even better than Carolina at this point.
And Chicago. Chicago beat them earlier, too.
And Chicago's got a better record than they do. So they are right now in the NFC race. They are 10th. They are the 10th seed in the NFC currently. They would need to get to 7. And remember, 4 of those spots, so there's only 3 open spots unless they caught Philadelphia. And I don't even think that delusional Cowboy fans think that that's a possibility. I could be wrong. All right, Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. The Nuggets are on the way. Nick Earnshaw is here with today's edition of Nick's Nuggets, live from Chickies and Pete's in Atlantic City. Go where the players go. Chickies and Pete's. Enjoy late-night happy hours at Chickies and Pete's every Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 with $3 domestics, $6 seltzers, $6 Tito's, plus half off some Chickies food favorites. Our buddy Jeff in Ocean City just stopped by, Josh. Dropped off a little goodie bag.
Oh,
What's
yeah.
in
What's
this
in
goodie
there?
bag
Some candy?
here? Oh, he put some bets on there, too. What does that say?
WVU.
It's a heavy bag. Wow. There's a little six-pack in there.
Wow.
We'll have to check that out there, Pete. By the way, we're back live at Chickies and Pete's. Go where the players go. Chickies and Pete's here.
Got you some fuego.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah.
A little fuego. The fall is here. Enjoy Chickies' seasonal favorites like tasty A.J. Brown sweet heat wings, savory buffalo shrimp, and so much more. Chickies and Pete's. Every Thursday we're live, Chickies. Jeff from Ocean City, thank you, buddy. He must have stopped by the sports book over there. That's what he must have.
He gave you picks and beer.
Yeah, it says West Virginia 4.5. Robert Morris. Oh no, he says West Virginia 45. Robert Morris 3 minus 40.5. Is that who they play this week? Robert Morris. I've given up on that season.
I know they're playing Colorado next week.
It's time for the Nuggets. They're brought to you by the Hub. Gear that works as hard as you do. Nick Earnshaw is back with today's edition of Nick's Nuggets here on the Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN. What's up, man?
What's going on? So Jeff in Ocean City giving out some gifts to you guys? That sounds awesome.
Stop by. Just literally walked up, handed us a brown paper bag. In that bag, looks like a six-pack of Fuego.
Look at that,
cold.
yeah.
They're cold, too.
Oh,
might have to
wow.
have one before the show's
That's
over here.
fresh out of the fridge for you, buddy.
Oh, that's perfect. That sounds fantastic. Shout out to Jeff in Ocean City. He is the man. Well, we got a lot to talk about today. We're going to start with the Philadelphia Eagles. These rumors are heating up. Eagles make a trade yesterday for Michael Carter II. Very interesting stuff. Now today, the Myles Garrett rumors are back, boys. They're back. I want to play a clip from insider Charles Robinson. He was a guest on 102.5 The Game in Nashville. He talked about some of these rumors regarding the Philadelphia Eagles and Myles Garrett. Take a listen.
If it's coming for the Eagles, those are 3 late firsts, so it's like even arguable. When you get through the draft process, you know, how many first-round grades do you really have? Maybe you have between 14 and 18 in a typical year, and that means that if you're drafting in the late 20s, early 30s, you're not even getting a player that's really considered on your board. Unless you're lucky, you're not getting a player that maybe you have a first-round grade on.
So he talked about the Eagles sending 3 possible first-round picks to the Browns for Myles Garrett. Is that too much to you guys? He says it's not. It's later first-round picks because the Eagles are going to be competitive. You're not going to get as much talent late in the draft at that point. Would you give up 3 first-rounders for Myles Garrett to pair him with Jalen Carter?
I'd throw him a 4th one if it would really make the deal work. Yes,
Give him
I would
A.J.
throw
Brown,
up.
too, while we're at it.
No.
BG.
No, I'm out on the A.J. Brown portion of it, but yeah, I would do 3 first-round picks for Myles Garrett, and I wouldn't even think about it. I mean, what are we talking about here? We're talking about a guy who had 5 sacks in a game. He has 10 right now. This is the most dominant defensive player in the league coming to a really good defense. You know, everything I look at right now from this Eagles team is, can you win a Super Bowl? Yes. What would make you closer to winning that Super Bowl? Would it be those 3 first-round picks in 2026, 2027, and 2028, or Myles Garrett this year? And by the way, it's not like Myles Garrett is a free agent and is leaving.
No.
He would be here in 2026, 2027, and 2028. You make that trade all over again, and then you actually say, I feel like I'm ripping you off. Would you like a 3rd, a 4th, a 5th? Like, can I do something else to appease you here?
Or you could just throw A.J. Brown in there, as PG suggested. No, I'm only kidding.
How about
but
2 firsts and an A.J. Brown?
Yeah, there you go. Wow.
I have no
PG's ready to move on.
I have no interest in trading A.J. Brown. None.
No, I would have 0 as well. But when it comes to Myles Garrett, I think this is one. Yeah, you give up the draft picks at this point. The Eagles have plenty of draft picks, and they are able to hit on later round draft picks, right? Like some of these guys that they've been able to develop. Cooper DeJean was not a first-round pick. A lot of these players have not been first-round picks where they're able to develop those guys. Nakobe Dean, etc. Reed Blankenship, he was was he even undrafted? I don't think he was drafted. So, I mean, you have these guys where the Eagles are able to develop them on the defensive side of things. You had Myles Garrett in there where they desperately need pass rushing. Clearly, I think it's worth it. And it continues to make you a contender. He's under contract. They gave him the big contract before this season. listen, the Myles Garrett rumors, it's kind of like the, I guess, in the Phillies terms, what's his name from Chicago, Luis Robert. It's like he comes up every so often now. It's like this is very similar with Garrett coming up all the time with the Eagles. Now, I would do it.
I have a devil's advocate, though. This is like saying, is it not, would you trade Quinyon Mitchell, Jahad Campbell, and Cooper DeJean for Myles Garrett?
Well, that's the point, Pete. Well, that's the point. Right? They already drafted all those guys. They have all those guys on their roster now, at least for a couple of years. You want to go and capitalize on this window right now, so you don't care about those picks at this point because your defense is so young.
But that is what you're doing.
Yep.
That's good.
Let me ask you guys all a question. Okay, I have 3 first-round picks at my disposal next year. Where is there a place where I'm getting a player in the late 20s, that I need to have right now that I couldn't get in the second round? Like, where do I need a player that I need to get a 27th to 32nd pick? Where am I lacking?
That's what I mean. Like, you already made those picks. You already made those picks. Like, you already have Quinyon. You have Jahad Campbell.
Are you going to get a starting outside corner that is going to be a difference-making player at 27 that is any different from the guy that you take in the second round? I mean, they have 4 third-round picks coming. What's to say they can't take 2 of those or 3 of those and move up into the top of the second round or late first round? Like, you let these guys do their jobs if you trust them. Howie Roseman has made a propensity to say, listen, I don't have a first-round pick. I can get back into the first round. He did that the one year with the Saints, right? They didn't have a first-round pick. They got back into the first round. So these 3 picks, if you think Myles Garrett is going to get you to a Super Bowl, win a Super Bowl, NFC Championship game, your pick is going to be deep enough that player is not going to make a huge impact that if you give that pick away. By the way, put it this way. That player is not making the impact that Myles Garrett's making.
No.
What are we talking about here? So
that's why it's worth it. But people are so in on these picks, right? They want to keep these picks around because they've seen how good that the players they have drafted have been. That's
we live in a society. No, listen, we live in a society that everything is what's behind door number 2. It's let's make a deal. Everybody wants what's behind door number 2. You could say, hey, here's a brand new yacht for you here. Do you want it? And then what's behind door number 2? Are you going to get something better than a yacht? No, you're not. But the idiot on the stage still says, I want what's behind door number 2, and it turns out to be a box of ramen noodles. That's what ends up happening.
I'm not opposed to giving up the 3 first-round picks to Myles Garrett. But on the other hand, people want to go see if they're going to get some ramen noodles, right? They would take a chance like that. I wouldn't. I would go after and get this guy.
Those are the people that I'm talking to.
It's only because Howie Roseman is so damn good at drafting. Yeah. That's why.
But I would say this. There was a time where people thought that Roseman should be fired because he did such a bad job at drafting. So at some point, he's going to miss on a guy. So guess what? Let those 3 picks go to someone else so that maybe that's the one that he misses somewhere in there. Let someone else make those picks. You take Myles Garrett and see what happens.
Yeah, I'm in on bringing Garrett in. This would elevate the defense to no end. They don't have really anybody on the edges that is that impactful. There's not a guy in the league that's as impactful as Myles Garrett. You go make that deal. If it's there, you pull the trigger, you get that guy in the building, and I guarantee you'll be back deep into the playoffs. Probably could be in Santa Clara this year. You never know. You never know if you go make that deal right now.
I don't know that deal will be made, but if it's on the table, I make it.
Yep, I am totally with you. All right.
Now, listen, I will say this wasn't some, blog guy or somebody just throwing out a radio poll question. This is Charles Robinson, who is a well-respected, as Adam Kaplan was on with us earlier, and was actually kind of surprised that Charles Robinson said something like this because he's like, look, he is a very high integrity guy.
Yeah.
He's not just willy-nilly throwing some stuff out here. So
no, he's not just throwing it out there.
Parsons too.
Yep.
So they are in the market.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating. You love trade deadline time. It's always fun. Football, baseball, all these sports. All right, let's move along. Nugget number 2. We got to talk about the Philadelphia 76ers. Did you guys catch on ESPN last night VJ Edgecombe and Tyrese Maxey were having a little fun. Chuck was making fun of VJ because he has no background, just like me back here on the Sports Bash every day. So guess what? We got to play some of the VJ clip. But VJ seems very confident, even with no background in his apartment or wherever he was. He seems very confident in this team. He's just a confident, delusionally confident player. Here's what VJ Edgecombe had to say about his teammate, Joel Embiid.
Joe's a great person. He wants to be on the floor. From my perspective, I think that he wants to be on the floor. I mean, he's super good, like you said. And I think he's already at the All-Star level. Even though he's on
20 minutes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's playing 20 minutes. He's still having 25 points. So I say with big fella back up there, no, I think we're gonna win the chip. If you ask me, I don't care what anyone else got to say though.
There you go. He's declaring it. He's like, if they have Joel Embiid, they can win a chip. Mike, is this bad? Is this bulletin board material? Should he have been saying this? Your thoughts?
No, he shouldn't have said it. I get it. He's delusionally confident, and that goes to what Austin Rivers said on the podcast. He believes it, and it's not wrong for him to believe. It's probably shouldn't, be pounding his chest saying we're good enough to win a chip. This is a team that has struggled over the last, century. It seems like decades, 2 decades to get out of the second round. I don't even remember the last year they got out of the second round. I guess it was 01, right? They never got since then. They never been to an Eastern Conference final. So, I definitely think he's right. If Joel Embiid is a healthy Joel Embiid that we have come to know, they can make it to the NBA Finals in the Eastern Conference, which is wide open. Without Joel, I don't think this fun – that's the thing. People are like, they're better without Joel. They're fun. Fun teams don't win championships, right? The Lob City Clippers are fun, but you're not winning a championship with these – the Sixers are fun without Joel, but they need Joel Embiid. Let's stop trying to push Joel out before he's ready to leave. Let's say we need that guy to win a championship. And guess what? If you got a healthy Paul George, that wouldn't hurt either. Getting those two guys back and Jared McCain is only going to make this team deeper and better. Let's stop trying to say they're better without Joel. Maybe at times they might be more entertaining to watch, but the Sixers, the Eagles aren't the most entertaining team to watch all the time, but they win a lot, right?
And
so would you rather be entertaining or do you want to win?
And if they traded A.J. Brown, they wouldn't, come close.
Well, right now, if the Sixers traded Joel Embiid, they'd be entertaining,
right?
But they wouldn't be able to win a championship.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. Like, I'm glad Pete brought that up. A.J. Brown and Embiid, like, they are better with these players. They are just better. Like, it might not be as entertaining to watch, but who cares? You want to win ball games. And Joel Embiid, they even said it. VJ and Maxey, they said he's dropping 20 points in 20 minutes, 25 points in 20 minutes, whatever it is. He's doing it. Like, when he's out on the floor, he is a difference maker. Now, I want to see him, put up better numbers on the defensive end and look a little bit healthier on the defensive side of things. But he is a difference maker. You saw when he's not in the lineup, they were not a great team last year. When he's in the lineup this year.
Not last year, ever.
Ever. This year's the first year you've actually had some decent play from this team without Embiid on the floor. So don't get ahead of yourself. Oh, we don't need Joel Embiid anymore. I can't tell you how many texts I've gotten, some dumb texts about that. Oh, we could trade Joel now. No. When the half-court setting and things slow down in the postseason, you want that guy on your roster for sure. You want him in the low post, down low, beating up on other teams. So stop with, I just don't understand. Joel gets so much vitriol from people because of these clips online. He is a massive, massive reason they have been contenders and have gotten to the postseason. He is the reason they've gotten that far.
I don't understand why people get to a point where they want to hate so quickly. Like, has Joel been frustrating? I said earlier, he has more what-ifs in his career that are memorable than moments that are memorable, and he's given us a ton of great moments, but the what-ifs probably outweigh. But I'm not sitting here saying because he's giving me so what-ifs, I just hate the guy and I want him gone and I'm ready for him to move on. I said over and over again, listen, Joel Embiid to me is the kind of player, when you have an MVP, that's the kind of player that you tank for. You tank to get a Joel Embiid, right? These are the type of players that you get once in a, like, when you're a fan base and you say, man, they got to watch Michael Jordan. They got to watch LeBron James. They get to we get to watch Joel Embiid. Now, we don't. The problem is we don't get to watch him as much as those great superstars. But that doesn't mean I want you out the door. Like, for people to, like, here's another thing that bothers me about sports. They judge people on every game, at bat, pitch. Like, no one lets seasons breathe anymore. I get it. Joel has not looked like himself defensively for 3 nights. Can we let him play 50 nights before we're like, okay, maybe he's done? Like, he can't get up the floor in a 5-minute burst on game 1, and people are like, he's shot, he's done, can't play, garbage can. It's like, dude, it's the first 5 minutes of the first game. It's unbelievable how people watch sports and just make judgments that quickly. It's very infuriating and frustrating.
Yeah, I totally agree. Like, you're not watching the whole story here. Enjoy the ride. Enjoy the ride.
But that's the thing. You just said the word. Sports seasons are stories. They're chapters. They're books. They change. They evolve. They evaluate. Young players get better throughout the course of a season. Older players sometimes kind of cruise control through years because they've been through it and they know how to kind of now pick it up and pull it back. If you watch the Blue Jays in June, did you think they were going to be a World Series team?
Heck no. In the beginning of the year, like we were even talking about before the trade deadline, like a month or two before, we were like, are some of these guys still available from the Blue Jays? Like, are they going to be sellers at the deadline? Like, you don't know. Like, it's such a marathon, and people are so quick to jump out and jump off of a guy, right? Like, they're done. He's cooked. He can't jump, this, that. It's not even Halloween. Halloween's tomorrow. There's been 4 games. Like, even on the other side of the coin, right? Like, it's been a great start, but there's so much basketball to be played. And listen, Jared McCain, Paul George have been practicing. We need a full participation of all the players on the 76ers today. Very good sign. Yes. Very good sign. So there could be good things to come. The Sixers are only going to get better, but it's still early. There's a lot to happen. There's a lot going on. It's a marathon, not a sprint, Mike.
I understand that. I think a lot of people don't.
Yep. That's why we're going to explain. That's why we explain it here on the Nuggets. All right. There it is. A little 2-pack for it. I didn't get to my third one. We'll get to it tomorrow.
Nuggets, you're always teaching.
By the way, I did the research for you guys. I got a date for you guys, okay?
Okay.
Wow.
December 7th, a day that will live in infamy. The Flyers play the Avalanche at 1 o'clock, and the Sixers play the Lakers at 7:30.
Oh, Lakers.
Seats,
I hope LeBron's back is better by then. If he's playing, I'm going.
Cheap seats, Pete. Are we there?
You do the changeover. You do the Flyers at 1 o'clock, and you do the Sixers at night.
I think that could be a
LeBron's
move.
playing, and he's not getting his load management. I'm there.
Okay, that's the one. There's another one in January. The next time where they both play in the same day. It is January 17th is the next one.
Do you have the stamina for that, Earnshaw?
I'm in.
You got the stamina? All right. Let's do it.
I'm in.
December 7th. No January. Sorry, that one the Flyers play at 1 o'clock, but the Sixers do not play the same day. Oh, January 31st, the Flyers play the Kings, and the Sixers play the Pelicans.
Oh, I'm in.
There you go.
That's cheaper. Yeah, that's cheaper. That's a cheaper ticket than the Lakers.
Cheap seats, Pete.
All right,
Let's
there
do
you
it.
go. There's
All
today's
right,
Nuggets here. They're brought to you by the Hub Gear that works as hard as you do. Thanks, Nick.
See you guys.
All right, he's back again tomorrow here on the Sports Pass Live, 97.3 ESPN. All right, when we come back, 5 o'clock hour, it is One Thought Every Game. Casey Joyner, the week starts tonight with Thursday Night Football. We'll get into the Week 9 schedule. Obviously, the Eagles have the bye. We'll ask about Michael Carter and how he fits into this defense. But first, it's our 99 Bottles contest sounder, and that means I need caller 7 right now. Get on the line, 609-573-3776, 609-573-3776. Caller number 7, fastest fingers right now. You're entered for this year's 99 Bottles party at Maynard's in Margate, 9306 Amherst Avenue. You must be present to win. We got all sorts of tickets, 99 pairs of tickets. That means 99 winners. Every single person who qualifies and shows up is winning a pair of tickets. 609-573-3776. Caller 7, right now, you are entered. We got Eagles-Bears Club Box tickets for Black Friday this year is the big pair of tickets we'll be giving away. Plus, we got Flyers tickets, Sixers tickets, and a ton of great concerts and more. Caller 7, good luck. It's time for one thought every game. We've reached week 9. I hate when we get to the double digits. I don't want to get to the double digits. Can we hit the pause button on the double digits? It's week 9, one thought every game. Brought to you by BMW of Atlantic City. Your luxury BMW experience is closer than you think. Take advantage of exceptional savings and luxury experience today at BMW Atlantic City, Egg Harbor Township. Casey Joyner from The Athletic is back for week number 9 of the NFL. It starts tonight with kind of a clunker of a game, but I will say this, Casey Joyner. Yesterday we do a segment called Who's In and Who's Out. We try to predict which teams are going to make the playoffs. I think the Ravens still have a shot in the AFC North, but they're going to need to win this game tonight against the Miami Dolphins. So Lamar Jackson back. It looks like he shall play. The Ravens this season when he plays, obviously a much different team offensively. They're still not very good defensively, but that's our Thursday night football game tonight. Do you agree that the Ravens still have a pulse?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Last week was a big thing because Lamar doesn't play, and yet they still step up and win. Because that makes you think, okay, do you guys need Lamar to win a game that you might be able to win if you play pretty well? Chicago being a team, and that they did. It shows that they've not lost confidence in their coach and what he's doing, which, again, Harbaugh's a great coach, I think. So, yeah, and by the way, their defense, that was a big problem early on. As much as Lamar's been out, been a problem. Their defense has been terrible. Their defense is getting better. Not great numbers, but okay, these are numbers we can win with without getting into a shootout. So, yeah, Baltimore's got a shot. A wild card, yeah, and mind you, Pittsburgh's not running away with this division. They could still win the division.
I agree, and it would be interesting tonight, by the way. The Ravens are averaging 32 points per game with Lamar this season compared to 14 games when he does not play. Big difference there. Before we get into one thought on all these games, the Eagles did make a trade yesterday. Michael Carter, a corner who's more of a nickel guy. I guess the question is, does it make sense in your mind to play Cooper DeJean at outside corner if you found a nickel, or is he too valuable as a nickel corner? Michael Carter, a lot of slot play in his time with the Jets.
You've got to, when I remember doing all those metrics and things for coverage players, you'll always find in doing those that the perimeter players will have better metrics than the slot player. It is tougher playing slot. You don't have the sideline. You don't have that there, and the guy can go either way, can break to the sideline or break to the middle. You can't just get outside leverage and say, I'm going to force you into a box. There's a lot of different things you can do. So you have to have a slot guy who can absolutely step up and cover people in any situation. To have two of them, I go back to an Al Davis saying back in the day. This is 70s football. And Al Davis is saying you can never have too many good cornerbacks. And now you're 50 years later, and we've got as much passing as we have. It's more true today than ever. So to get somebody who could play that slot, give you depth there, love the trade.
Love the trade for Philadelphia. All right, we'll see if he ends up playing. We'll talk more about the Eagles and the Packers. They play next week. But first, let's get into this week's edition of One Thought Every Game. We got Thursday Night Football we just talked about. You can listen to that game on Rock 104.1 tonight. It's the Ravens and the Dolphins. Ravens are 7.5-point favorites at Miami, so they believe that the Ravens are back with Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, and mind you, the Dolphins are a tough team to gauge. I wrote about this in my Athletic article where I do straight up and confidence picks. You can check it out at my page of the Athletic, my weekly picks article. Dolphins are one of the toughest teams in the league to gauge. They play really well last week against Atlanta. They played terrible against Cleveland. They looked disinterested. Baltimore, you got Jackson back the way they played last week. I don't have any worries about whether or not I can get what you can trust what you can get from Baltimore. So I'm taking Baltimore on this one.
All right, Baltimore, a possible playoff team. If they win the game tonight, they're going to be in pretty good shape. One thought every game. Let's go to the Bears and the Bengals. Both teams kind of on the fringe of the playoffs right now. Both teams on the outside looking in. Bears, though, coming off a loss last week, a road favorite at Cincinnati. I was a little surprised by that.
I was too, and then you look at the Bengals metrics and you go, they're stunningly poor. They're the worst team in the league at covering tight ends. It's not even close. And a points per game basis in fantasy football, it's like 27 points per game against tight ends. It's just awful number. They're just as bad at stopping planned rushing plays. They're just terrible. Their defense is all about talent, and they just don't have it. They changed coaches. They won't need any more talent, and they're doing a lot of the transcend targets to Jamar Chase. It's working to some extent, but the Bears can do a lot more than the Bengals can right now. They're more consistent. So I'm going to take Chicago.
By the way, I failed to mention the Bengals lost to the Jets last week, too, so that's why you're a home dog in this one. But the Bears, a road favorite in the game. One thought every game, Lions and Vikings in the NFC North. This game will be on Rock 104.1. It is a 1 o'clock kick. Lions, a 8.5 point favorite. You're going to get J.J. McCarthy back in this one.
And the fact that they had Carson Wentz with an injured shoulder last week, I thought, you know what, we should start Carsoning for McCarthy. Probably tells you what you need about McCarthy and things. The Vikings, though, they got a problem this year. They're 2-0 when they allow 17 or fewer points. They're 1-4 if they give up 22 or more points. The Lions are 5-0 and they score 24 or more points, and they can score 24 or more points because this Vikings defense, it's fallen apart of late. They've got abysmal metrics. I'm taking Detroit big.
All right, Detroit big in that one. Casey Joiners, one thought every game here on the Sports Pass Live on 97.3 ESPN. Let's go to it is the Packers and the Panthers. And, of course, the Packers won that game on, what was that, Sunday night or Monday Night Football. They played against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah, Pittsburgh, yeah, Sunday night,
yes. The Panthers coming off of an ugly loss. They got blasted, but they are 4-4. They're kind of still in the mix here, but they are a 12.5-point dog on the road.
They're beating teams they're capable of beating, but we saw last week against Buffalo when they go up against a really good team, they're not capable of even just keeping that game close. It's at Green Bay. I looked at all the statistical categories, got like 10 different categories to look at. Green Bay was ahead in almost all of them. They're the home team. They're healthy in Carolina, too. Carolina is banged up, so you just start adding up. I'm looking at past to victory. I don't see many for Carolina, very few, so I'm taking, again, Green Bay big.
Carolina is 4-4. Are they alive? Are they a possible playoff team?
They've got some tough games left on their schedule. But they've got a shot. When you start a 4-4, you've got a shot because you only probably need to get 9 wins to get there. But their schedule probably says they can't do it. If I'm the Panthers, I want to measure by, am I getting close to the play? Am I getting to that level of things? I want to put it all in this year and say, hey, let's make sure we're building for a future thing. So they are. It's just they don't quite have enough talent to beat the Green Bays and the Buffaloes of the world.
Yeah, two back in the wild card chase for the Panthers. Packers, by the way, are the number 1 seed in the NFC. Chargers and Titans. Titans used when they were a dog at home, I would take them every single week. No longer. They are a 9.5-point home dog here. Their offense is abysmal, and they're running into a defense that is starting to get some confidence.
They got a defense that's getting confidence. They got a lot of talent. The Titans may have the worst rush defense in the NFL, and Kamari Vidal, that's somebody you want to get into fantasy lineups this week. The Chargers have advantage that the receiving core is a lot better. Shamari DK has been playing pretty well for the Titans, and he's somebody to pick up, but the Titans coverage metric matchups are just terrible. Only thing that's making me hesitate a bit in the game, it's an early Sunday afternoon kickoff. Chargers going across the country. I'm not sure how they do with that, but the talent edge is so big in the Chargers' favor. I got to take them.
One thought every game, Atlanta and the Patriots. Patriots first place in the AFC East. Falcons last week. Kirk Cousins was abysmal in that game. Panthers are about a touchdown favorite at home, 1 o'clock.
The Patriots, Vrabel has got the formula to success. I don't know if it's Super Bowl success, but the formula to winning, he proved to Tennessee he could do it, and he's got the ground running game. You've got Drake May. He's third in NFL MVP odds, and rightfully so. He's that good, although I'm still on the Jonathan Taylor bandwagon. It should be second on that list, but that is what it is. Penix is a work in progress. He's got a knee injury. They've got a lot of other injuries on Atlanta's team, so New England's at home. Too many paths for victory for New England. I'll take them.
One thought every game. Let's go to the Giants taking on the 49ers. This was like a big playoff game in like 1995, but the Giants are a mess right now, all over some injuries. They lose Scadaboo. They've lost Neighbors. The Niners lost last week, yet they travel all the way across the country, and they're a 2.5-point favorite here.
I think the reasoning for that is it looks like Purdy might come back this week. Every week it's just Purdy come back and then Mac Jones end up playing. Pearsall may come back this week. They are going to be without their starting center, Jake Brendel. He's almost certain to miss this game. So that's trouble for them because the Giants have a good defensive line. San Francisco also has injuries to 3 of its starters and 2 of its backups in its defensive front 7, so the Giants could run the ball. But I'm thinking about Tyrone Tracy, and I'm thinking about Devin Singletary, and on one side you've got CMC on the other. Yeah, I'll take CMC, and I'll take Kittle, and if Purdy comes back, I'll take the Niners.
All right, Niners would be 6-3 with a win there, and of course the Giants would fall to 2-7. Colts and Steelers. You can listen to this game on 97.3 ESPN. We have a triple header on Sunday afternoon for you. Colts some people think they're the best team in the league. You talked about it Tuesday. Here they are against the Steelers on the road. When you're a road favorite against a division leader, people are starting to take you serious. They are a 3.5-point favorite on the road.
And that moved up from 3 earlier this week. People are taking them serious. They're doing a ton of things well. Jonathan Taylor, again, hey, Patrick Mahomes beat my NFL MVP pick. I've got a PFWA vote, and I'll give him my vote there if it was to start right now. I put JT in front of Josh Allen. He's playing that well. Jonathan Taylor's having a season for the ages.
Better season than Saquon last year?
Better half season, yeah, at least. I think he might
He's
top.
He's on pace for more touchdowns.
Yeah, I think he could be. I think right now he could top what Saquon did last year.
That's where he's on the pace for the LaDainian Tomlinson 06 year.
Yeah. He's exactly. He is doing that well. And by the way, their blocking is just fantastic. When you look at the breakdown of their blocking, their run blocking is superb. It's not just situational things. It's doing that. Only thing I got a weakness on, they're terrible pass coverage metrics. They're just awful. But Pittsburgh queued at 68 points in the last 2 games, and I think if you get in the shootout mode, the Colts can still win that. So I'm taking the Colts, but by a small margin, because I think that coverage issue is going to come up this game.
One thought every game. Let's go to the Broncos and the Texans. Texans coming off a win. Broncos coming off an impressive win. Both teams impressed last week. Texans are a favorite against the Broncos here. Denver coming off a big win over Dallas. Texans beat the Niners. They are favored Houston by 1.5.
The Texans, Broncos get the high-profile win. They come back against the Giants. They get the win against Dallas. So high-profile wins. Houston's been good the last month.
They've wiped out the whole NFC East.
Yeah, they have. And mind you, Houston, though, dominant wins over Tennessee and Baltimore. Baltimore without Lamar. They gave a good showing against Seattle, convincing win against San Francisco. So I get it. They're playing really well. But I'm looking at the metrics and looking at talent level. Denver's still the better team. So I don't have a lot of faith in this pick because Houston is playing better than people think, and the offensive line is shored up to where it's okay now. I'm okay with them. I'll take Denver, but not by much. But I do think that Denver's got the better club still.
One thought every game, Jags and Raiders. Jags still hanging on. The AFC wild card is open, though, for someone to slide in. There's not a lot of candidates. One candidate that is not in there, it's the Raiders. They're a home underdog against Jacksonville, 3.5. That tells you a lot about where the Raiders are.
It does, but an amazing thing was I told you, I got look at those all those different metric categories. This is the most evenly matched game on the Week 9 board. I mean, the Jags better in pass offense. The Raiders are better in pass coverage. The Raiders are better in special teams in a couple areas, and the Raiders are at home. So you're looking at a number of things and go, wow, the Raiders are actually, this is closer than people think. I mean, I think the Jaguars probably are a better team, but it's not showing up in the metrics. And in fact, they've got a lot of metrics they're not good at. So I'm picking them to win, but that's a complete toss-up game. It's the least confident pick I have this week.
All right, one thought every game. Let's go to Saints and Rams. This one seems pretty obvious. Rams are a 14.5-point favorite. Saints have made a quarterback change. Tyler Shuck, not shucking oysters, shucking footballs over there. He's going to be the new quarterback for the Rams, who have obviously been a disaster. No, the Saints, who have been a disaster.
Yeah. How in the world do you change? You think it's a good idea to go with Brad Rather in there all season? Now, hey, it's a road game against a really good Rams team. Yeah, let's go and change quarterbacks. I get it. Maybe you're done with Rattler, but it's like, okay, he has to be playing that poorly, and he hadn't been playing quite that bad. So I'm like, okay, that's a desperation move. I don't think the Rams will take this game too lightly. They probably get Puka back this week, and they get Puka, and then it makes things even better. Even without Puka, I still think they're going to win big.
Hey, I'll tell you, I thought the Giants put Dart into a bad spot playing against the Chargers for your first game, and that has worked out for them. But Shuck, not quite Dart in the athleticism mode in terms of running around, making plays happen. He's a little bit of an older rookie, 26-year-old quarterback Tyler Shuck gets the start there. This might be the game of the year so far in the AFC at least. Chiefs and Bills, you can listen to this game on 97.3 ESPN. It's part of our triple header. The Chiefs are a road favorite in the game. How about that? The Chiefs, people starting to buy back into the Chiefs here.
They are. I think because Buffalo lost those couple of games, people are not taking Buffalo quite like, okay, the Chiefs are back to what they were. Hey, look, when I've started on those metrics and things, this game is still really close. I know the point spread is really close too, but again, if the home team's getting 5, it's like, okay, the Chiefs are supposed to be a better team. Look, Kansas City's passing game is better. Buffalo's got a great pass rush right now. The Bills definitely have a much better ground game. The Chiefs might be missing Pacheco, so they're going to be down a back. But the Chiefs' rush defense is the best in the NFL. Kansas City's a bit healthier, but Buffalo's the home team. I look at all that and go, this is a very, very even game. When I come to a game like this and everything seems that matched up, I'll generally take the home team in that game, and I'll take Buffalo because of that.
All right, Buffalo for Casey Joyner there. Chiefs are a road favorite by 1.5. Let's go to Sunday night. You can listen to this game on 97.3 ESPN. It's the third game of our triple-header. Seahawks and Commanders. Jaden Daniels supposed to be back for this one. Seahawks are in first place in the NFC West. They are a road favorite here, 3.5 for Seattle against a beaten-up Commanders team.
Watching a lot of coaching film in the offseason, a lot of coaching training films and such, Coach Tube and all. Mike McDonald does some stuff on there. Oh, he is such a good play caller. He's so wicked smart about defense, and it's coming up lately in how Seattle's playing. They've allowed 60 or fewer rushing yards in 3 straight games. In the NFL, it's a tough thing to do. They're getting superb play off of Sam Darnold. They got rested last week. Remember, Washington was in Kansas City on Monday night, so they've got a short week. Even though they're at home, they get a short week. Add all that together. Even though the Commanders may get Daniels back, they don't have Terry McLaurin this week, so look at that going. I'll take Seattle's path to victory, even though it's a East Coast game for them.
McLaurin with that quad injury, another guy who sat out in preseason in training camp and now is hurt. Go figure. And they would fall to 3-6 with a loss there for the Commanders. All right, Monday Night Football. You can listen to the game right here on 97.3 ESPN. Cardinals and Cowboys, 2 teams on the outside of the playoffs. If the Dallas Cowboys want to make the playoff, they need to have this game. They are obviously right now on the outside looking in. They are a slight favorite, 2.5 against the Cardinals.
It's funny, Arizona, the one thing Arizona needs to do, in fact, Dallas, team coaches don't normally like to get into scoreboard shootouts. They don't, because I've talked about this many times over the years. It's 50-50 prop, and even the best offenses in NFL history don't do very well in scoreboard shootouts. The Cowboys, they don't want to get in that, but it's their best path to victory. They're 3-0-1 when they score 27 or more points this year. They're 0-4 when they score 27 or few points. I don't think the Cardinals' defense is playing at a level to hold Dallas' offense back. So I don't think Arizona's going to be able to stop Dallas from getting a high point total. And even if Kyler Murray returns, they don't have the octane to keep up with Dallas. So I'll take Dallas in this one.
All right, there you go. That is the Week 9 slate. No Eagles this week. Of course, they will play the Packers next week, and you can listen to the Eagles and Packers on 97.3 ESPN. We'll see what the new look defense looks like. Here's a trade I want to throw your way. We heard a little bit about this. Charles Robinson threw this one out earlier. 3 first-round picks for Myles Garrett if you're Philadelphia. Do you like that deal for Philly or Cleveland?
3 first-round picks, that's tough. The Eagles don't like to think, they just like to think in terms of Super Bowl windows. But having said that, this is a year to where maybe they get a player of that caliber and you can win a Super Bowl now. I'm not saying I wouldn't do it. I'd like to see if I could drop that price down a bit. But Myles Garrett could be a guy. He could be Fred Dean. I'll go back way back in the NFL history. Fred Dean in 1981. The Niners picked him up. He was a great pass rusher, Hall of Fame pass rusher. Chargers didn't want to pay him. The Niners went in and traded for him, got him, and he was all the difference between getting their Super Bowl win. So I think that's something that the Eagles should consider, that if you make this deal, even if you give away a couple of ones and maybe a 2, maybe you drop the price down a bit. If you do that and you can get this deal, you might clinch yourself a Super Bowl. So I would strongly consider it because Super Bowl titles are hard to come by.
When you study the Eagles' defense, do they need more pass rush or a better corner?
They need more pass rush. Their cornerback coverage metrics of late have been improving a lot. Their biggest issue is their deep secondary. Blankenship's numbers, or at least vertical passing numbers, have been not so good, but everything else they're doing pretty well. And you added Carter, so you've got depth at corner. I'm okay with where they're at there. They've got to get the pass rush because you can only have your guys covered for so long. You're going to have to get a pass rush at some point. And again, say you go to the Super Bowl and you face Kansas City. If you don't have a pass rush, Mahomes is going to beat you. You've got to be able to get after quarterback. That's why you need Myles Garrett.
All right, Myles Garrett would be great. They get Nolan Smith back sometime in the next week or so. We'll see. And Brandon Graham has signed as well. That's 2 spots. We'll take a look at. The trade deadline is on Tuesday when we're back with one thought on every game. We'll be looking back at week number 9. Casey Joyner from The Athletic, everybody. Follow him tonight during the Ravens and Dolphins game. Thanks, man.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, Casey Joyner, everybody, here on the Sports Pass Live. And he, of course, is brought to you each and every week by BMW of Atlantic City. Your luxury BMW experience is closer than you think. Take advantage of exceptional savings and experience luxury today. BMW of Atlantic City, Egg Harbor Township. We are hanging out today, of course, every Thursday at Chickies and Pete's, where Thursday Night Football is loading up on the TV. Flyers hockey tonight loading up on the TV. No World Series tonight, man.
Yep, travel day. Travel day. I think everyone needs it. We need to take a breath. 18 innings was a long game.
They don't really need a well, when you're going from the West Coast to the back to Toronto, I could see the day off, yes, in that spot. Tomorrow night it's Gossman and Yamamoto. Who are the Game 7 probables?
I
What do
think
you got?
Scherzer, is Scherzer one of them? I don't think we've seen Scherzer in a while, right?
He pitched Game 3.
Okay, so
Would it be Scherzer for Toronto and Glasnow? Would Glasnow be the guy that would go in game number 7 for Toronto? Have they announced them yet?
Haven't announced it, but I would imagine.
Well, Glasnow and Scherzer were the Game 3 pitchers, right? No, Glasnow pitched Game 1, I thought, versus Savage. It's just been a great series. I mean, it's been fun, even with like the 6-1 game last night, the 6-2 game the other night. The fact that, by the way, last night you had Schneider open the game with a home run. You had back-to-back jacks in the game. We're going to talk a little Phillies.
Oh, Schneider's a local kid, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
We're going to talk a little Phillies after last night's game. I got some thoughts about the Phillies and why last night's game should have you thinking about the Phillies and the way they should approach this offseason. That's next. This is the Sports Bash Live on 97.3 ESPN. At 5:29, Sports Bash is live here at Chickies and Pete's, where the players go every Monday through Friday. You can check out their happy hour specials. And you got the Sweet Heat A.J. Brown wings. You've got the Eagles Game Day specials, $3 Miller Lite specials at all of the PA locations. Whistle to whistle during the game day, daily drink specials, plus $6 domestic drafts, personal pitchers at the Chickies and Pete's. And don't forget, every Monday through Friday, 4 to 6, $3 domestic bottle, $6 seltzers, and $6 Tito's, plus half off some of the Chickies food favorites.
Did you talk about the A.J. Brown article yesterday from The Athletic?
You know what? I didn't get a chance to read it, so I didn't really want to dive into it because I didn't know what it said. Did you read it?
A little bit, yeah.
Well, I do know Brooks Kubiner, who covers the Eagles for The Athletic.
Yeah.
So he wrote this article about A.J. Brown. I guess he sat down and caught up with him, and really was like a long-form piece on kind of what makes him tick. So I didn't get a chance to read it. I do want to kind of read that and dive into it a little bit. But I have seen some people messaging about why, like after reading the article, that they think they understand AJ and what he does a little bit better. And a lot of this, you know, people are just projecting, I think. But a lot of this, they believe that could be mental health related, and that just there are times where he just kind of can't control himself, and it doesn't mean like that he hates the players on his team or that he just like wants to be traded or anything like that. He just kind of has to get things off of his chest, and that's kind of the way that he does it.
Yeah, he just really wants to contribute. I mean, that's his main goal. I think over anything else is dominating the guy across from him, and, you know, he really wants to contribute in that way.
Yeah, and listen, I think that AJ ultimately, like, people look at him as such a problem. I would say I don't care about these social media things. I just don't. Like, people on social media are idiots. That's all it is. Like, people want to create fake accounts, and then they want to message people, and, like, you think we're supposed to take that person serious. So even though A.J. Brown is posting stuff, like, you don't know why he's posting stuff. He could be posting stuff to mess with people. You know what I mean? Like, people make up accounts to try to mess with you. Like, ooh.
Stir the pot.
Exactly. Like,
yeah.
You got people with fake pictures and fake names and, you know, that message you ad nauseum. You might put out 5 posts in a day and someone responds to 4 of them. It's like, that was how you spent your day today? And I'm supposed to take this, like, but some people can't handle it, right? So I don't try to read into people who use social media for anything. Like, all I use social media for is to kind of get news. I put out thoughts. People listen to the radio show. Some people like my thoughts. Other people don't give 2 rats' ass about my thoughts. I understand that. I put them out there for the people who want them. And if you don't want them, you don't have to read them. You can respond to them if you want, but I don't care if you agree with me or not. People act like I care if you agree with my thought. I like basketball. You don't like basketball? I'm not saying you have to like basketball. I've never said, how dare you don't like basketball. And that's why when AJ posts stuff, I just don't take it as serious. I just don't care. So is he crying for help? Is he looking for attention? I have no idea. I have no idea what each person's individual, why they use social media. I use social media for, hey, people like this radio show or don't like this radio show. Some people follow it and care if I make a comment, and some people don't want to hear my comments. If you don't want to read it, you don't have to read it. You can also feel free to comment on it and tell me that you don't agree with it. Don't care. Doesn't bother me. But for A.J. Brown, he puts stuff out there. I don't know his reasoning why. I know why I put stuff out there. I don't know why he does.
Well,
I don't know what his agenda is or his prerogative.
Is he happy? Will he ever be happy? That's my question. Is will he ever be happy? I guess. And I don't think.
But
I don't see it.
That's anywhere.
If AJ wants the ball, he's not going to just put up 8-9 catches a game, because you have Saquon, you have Smitty, you have Jalen Hurts, you have Dallas Goedert. There's just too many mouths to feed, and, you know, if AJ really just wants to dominate, he's not going to be happy.
The biggest worry for me about AJ has nothing to do with him posting on social media. It's the fact that he said winning the Super Bowl doesn't fulfill him.
Right.
And that should bother. That's sad. I don't know. I don't dislike him for that. I feel sad for him more than anything. I feel sad that he can't say, I won the Super Bowl with my guys, and this was the best thing, and it was everything I ever wanted. And it's not his fault that he doesn't feel that way. Everybody doesn't feel the same way. And it saddens you as a fan that there's some guy in Fishtown that barely can pay his rent, and he cares more about that Super Bowl win than A.J. Brown does. And that's just the sheer – most fans feel like they care more than the players do. And I'm sure that that's not accurate to some extent. I'm sure that there are plenty of fans that do care more than some players do. I'm not saying that every single player that plays this game does it because they have love and passion for the sport. Some of them just want to make money, and they just happen to be good at that sport. I know plenty of people who played a particular sport because their parents wanted them to, and they just happen to be good at it. Not because they wanted to, not because they loved it. And then it was like, well, I'm really good. I should just keep playing because it paid my way through college, or now I'm a professional. That happens. And I feel like AJ, by him saying that he did not feel fulfilled by winning the Super Bowl, I don't know how you fill that void then.
Yeah, and then that's where the Eagles have to come in and kind of is he just misunderstood then in that sense?
I would think so. I think he's a misunderstood guy.
I think that's what the article tried to portray, too.
I think he's a misunderstood guy that doesn't know how else or where to turn to with these thoughts. So maybe I don't know, some people need attention. Some people crave attention. Some people yearn for attention. I can't understand those people. I'm not saying I get it. There are people out there that love that.
Mike, if we could go back to the incident of him reading the book on the sideline last year, I know a lot of people read into that he's a problem and all this stuff. But when I interviewed Jim Murphy earlier this year, and I read the book myself, it's very clear what the book is meant for, and for AJ, after reading that book, to still basically be like, I don't feel fulfilled. He's using Bible verses and training camp interviews this year. He's using Bible verses on tweets. The guy obviously is trying to have sort of some self-expression, some sort of inward searching moment. But it's almost like he wants to travel this path on his own terms, and he doesn't want anybody to question or judge him for
it. Listen, I get it. You don't want to be judged for it, but people are going to judge you.
Exactly. And that's the thing that AJ doesn't understand, I don't think. I don't think AJ comprehends that we live in a world where people are just going to have an opinion, whether you agree with it, understand it, or not.
Listen, I go back to him again to the Super Bowl. He doesn't fulfilled by this, and people would say, "You just won the Super Bowl. How do you not feel fulfilled by that?" It's incomprehensible to people. That what do you play the game for then? And then it's does he play the game for stats? Does he play the game for that? And he has kind of suggested that's not fulfilling to him. I don't know. Everybody's going to have an opinion of something. So if you can't come to terms with, I say all the time, right? I'm not right. Josh, I'm not right. You're not wrong. We just disagree. We have different opinions. But people need to be told they're right. They need to hear, I'm wrong, you're right. Opinions aren't wrong or right. They're just people's opinions. They're just opinions. I like basketball. Other people don't. It doesn't mean I'm wrong at it because I like basketball. People because I like basketball. You think the Sixers are better than they are. No, I didn't say the Sixers can win a title. I just like basketball, and I think the Sixers might be pretty good this year. I'm not delusional that the Sixers are the best team in the league. They're fun. They're entertaining. Kill me. All right? Woe is me. I think the Sixers are more. It's my opinion that I'm watching the Sixers this year. I'm more entertained. And why do people care if I'm more entertained? I don't know why people care if I'm more entertained, but they do, right? And it's like A.J. Brown. Why do people care that he posts these things that you don't have any idea what he's talking about?
Well, part of it also is, and we don't need to get into too deep in this conversation.
Well,
but it's also,
he's frustrated, though. I mean, that's part of the reason why he's
frustrated,
posting it.
or is he just?
He said that he was at his locker a couple weeks ago, right when he posted that biblical verse.
But this is like,
he's frustrated. He's not getting the ball.
This is like the fan guy who goes 0 for 4 in opening day and says, that guy sucks. He can't play anymore. He went 0 for 4 on opening day. There's 161 games left. Like, let him play. Yes, he's frustrated after that game. Like,
right,
he can be
he's
frustrated
forever.
Yes, he can be frustrated after that game. That doesn't mean he's frustrated for all 18 games. He's just frustrated after that game.
He is having his worst season, though, by far, since he's been here.
He is, but obviously also he's dealt with the hamstring issue. We have no idea how that's impacted the season.
So, I don't know. He says, I'm not fulfilled by winning the Super Bowl. Do we feel that A.J. Brown cares more about his numbers? Because I would say this. He is in, his 7th year in the league? 8th? I don't know. Somewhere around there. And his Tennessee numbers were never astronomical. He wasn't like some wild,
He's in year 7.
Oh, I got that right.
Yeah, you got around the first guess.
Yep. So
don't second guess yourself, Mike Gill.
It's not like he was like an 1,800-yard, 15-touchdown receiver when he came here. No, he came here and had 2 of his best seasons ever, and the team did not win a Super Bowl. They won last year, and he had a good season. He didn't have a great season. So do we deem that A.J. cares more about numbers, even though he hasn't had numbers that were ever wow numbers?
Correct.
Never had wow numbers. He's had good numbers, but never wow numbers. What's his best year?
I mean, I would assume it would be one of the 2 Eagles seasons. I'll list them up right here. Give me a sec. The most yards he had in a year was his first year in Philadelphia, the 1,496.
So 1,500 yards is the best year that he's had yardage-wise.
Now, he's had 2 seasons with 11 touchdown catches, 1 in Philadelphia, 1 in Tennessee.
Okay. And his Tennessee 2 years, he had 1,000 yards twice. He had
Correct.
1,051 and 1,075.
Right.
So he's never had, his 2 best years, he had 1,500 yards twice in Philly, 1,496 and 1,456. So his numbers have never been like those 2 1,400-yard years, by the way, are pretty darn good. 1,400 yards is good, but they're not eye-poppingly like, wow. So,
right,
again, I go back to
7
years, he's never made a stink about his numbers and his usage.
Right. That's why I don't think it's a stats thing. I think it's a self-fulfillment thing. And I think AJ is, like most people do, using social media as a venting platform, and then all of the amateur psychologists want to put him on a couch and shrink him up.
I unfortunately, he's a guy who's conflicted because he seemingly wants the attention, so he does this.
Right.
But he doesn't want the reaction from the attention.
Right. He's like a lot of, to be frank, a lot of young people. A lot of people under 30 use social media for attention. And then when they don't get the attention they want, they get mad.
Which is why I don't tend to care about him posting on social media. I can't read into it.
Which is why I don't think he'll ever be happy.
Well, you're right. You trade him somewhere else, he's probably going to do this
in some variation there too.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, him not being happy has nothing to do with what happens on the football field. That's a personal, internal issue.
And it's like Jimmy Butler. When Butler was in Chicago, he malcontented his way out of there, and he got traded to Minnesota. And then he malcontented his way out of Minnesota, and he came to Philly. And then when he was in Philly, everything was great. This was the greatest thing ever until he malcontented his way out of Philly, and he ended up in Miami. And that was the greatest thing in the world, Miami.
Until it wasn't.
Until he malcontented himself out of Miami, and now he's in Golden State. And this is the greatest thing in the world, and I'm sure we'll be hearing about Jimmy Butler wanting to be traded at some point.
Right.
You just keep following you around, and it's always great at the beginning. The new thing's always great. Every new relationship is great until you have to actually put the work in to keep the relationship going. Jimmy Butler has had problems doing that. and maybe A.J. Brown is starting to get there, but I don't see any – there's no evidence to me in Tennessee. He didn't ask to be traded out of Tennessee. They didn't want to sign him.
Nope.
So they traded him. They didn't want to sign him. They had the knee problem, so they felt like we're not going to sign him because he has this knee problem. So they traded him. Bonehead decision, but he didn't ask to leave there, and he's never asked to leave here. It's just like it's the bye week, so people are bored, and there's a trade deadline. And it's like, really, you can't come up with better content than that?
So the Eagles should just let AJ be AJ at this point?
Unless there's something so distracting inside the walls. What's going on outside the walls, that happens. It's going to happen. But, like Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, was he a distraction outside the walls?
Not necessarily.
No.
No, nobody can think of like, oh, he was a bad dude. He was getting into trouble.
Nope.
He must have been a real ass inside the building.
The walls, yeah. Which is why he's been bumped from team to team to team to team.
He's playing isn't he on the Ravens? Or no, he's on the Bears.
He's on the Bears, yeah.
All right, Sports Bash Live, 97.3 ESPN. We'll wrap up the show. Coming up next, Flyers, Predators tonight on 97.3 ESPN. All right, I want to thank everybody at Chickies and Pete's. We're getting ready to get out of here. Go where the players go. Watch the Eagles at the official sports bar of the Philadelphia Eagles, Chickies and Pete's. No Eagles this week. They're off. But we've got plenty of football starting tonight on 97.3 ESPN, which actually Flyers tonight on 97.3 ESPN. Flyers Predators.
That's right. And just when you thought you could get a weekend off of football, the NFL hits you with Chiefs Bills.
You got Chiefs Bills. You got what's the good 1 o'clock game this week? Anything? Got a standout for the 1 o'clock, so you're going to be able to maybe do something early in the day.
Jeez.
1 o'clock.
Colts Steelers, I
Colts
guess.
Steelers. Yeah, not a great 1 o'clock slate. So you can try to do something. Baltimore and Miami tonight. That game is on Rock 104.1. So if you're looking for the football game tonight, Rock 104.1, 7:30 the coverage. Flyers and the Predators tonight. By the way, Sam Erison got put on the injured list today. Alexei Kovalov will be in the backup spot. I guess that means Vladar's playing tonight, right? The Flyers made some minor trade today.
More time for Vladar, yeah.
For a defenseman. Nothing major.
Flyers 3 out of 4. It's Thursday night tonight.
Go shootout again tonight?
Saturday, Sunday night over the weekend. No, I'm going to say win in regulation.
Ooh, a little win in regulation. We're a little early in the season, but let's take a look at the Flyers standings here. If you're looking at wild card early, because they're not going to win the division. But wild card, they are 1 point out behind the Caps and the Jackets. Over tonight, they got the Predators tonight, who are off to a little slow start. So Predators have always, got the Smashville. Peter Laviolette's still the coach down there? I'm kidding.
No.
I'm kidding. Tomorrow on the show, it's a happy hour Friday. Sal Palantonio is going to recap the first half of the Eagles season. We've got Sixers tomorrow night against the Celtics, first night of the Cup. And we'll recap the Flyers and more. All right, everybody, that's about it for us here. Be safe the rest of the way. I know it was a lot wet and rainy out there, windy. We'll talk to you tomorrow right here on the Sports Bash. All right, but first, I need caller number 7 before I get out of here tonight. 609-573-3776. 609-573-3776. 99 bottles. You can win Club Box tickets to see the Eagles and Bears Black Friday at the Link. You must be present to win. Live at Maynard's in Margate, 9306 Amherst Avenue on Wednesday, November the 26th. The Sports Bash will be live, and it will be this year's 99 Bottles Party, where we'll have tickets to see the Eagles, the Flyers, the Sixers, and also concerts and shows and all sorts of events from all over South Jersey. 99 winners. 99 pairs of tickets. It's all at this year's 99 Bottles Party, the Wednesday before Thanksgiving. So if you can't go, don't be caller number 7 right now. But if you can, good luck. Caller 7. We'll talk to everybody tomorrow. Have a great night, everybody.